Alrighty. So,
Yeah.
did we,
Got it. I'm in. I got it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
We had some brief concerns, it seemed, with Mono getting into Foundry. I would share Shenmue's concern while we're playing that intro of what exactly you were putting a password into.
Well, the password part. You can enter a password.
Oh, that's, yeah, I guess there's a field for it. Yeah, there's a field for the pass key. You don't need to put anything in there. You can just jump in. I still don't see you in the player list though.
I'm trying to load in.
He's doing his best.
I can see stuff except not the map. I can see everything except the map. Ah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We'll get it. Don't worry, everybody. We'll get our technical issue out of the way super early, in advance, so that we can cruise through the rest of the session without any problems. So, Mono.
Hello.
What's it doing, buddy?
I'm in the Grigot house, but I can't see the Grigot house.
Oh, I think I see him popped up.
Oh, I see the monolith is in the list now.
Oh,
there he is. Just took a minute.
He's in there. All right, we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
We're chilling.
right.
Easy. This is easy. I just wish this was harder, honestly. I just feel like I haven't been properly. I haven't been properly challenged trying to run online Pathfinder shows enough recently. So, last week, we underwent a great journey. We have traveled quite far. We have come a real sizable distance. With the professor chartering us a pair of ships to take our entire operation, not just to a new town, but to a wholly new land. Off the Aran Isle, away from our homes, and to greater shores. And we have arrived here. On the Isle of Kortos, in the town of Carrick, a port city that does the majority of the, well, farming and food production for the Kortos Isle and for the people of Absalom and Diobil and the other, major cities of the island. Upon arrival, before you could even get yourselves organized or pay the dockmaster waiting at your berth ship, you met a very nice gentleman.
Too nice.
Dolphin Gregan. This man right here. Well-dressed, but with the strangely formal and somber garb, he introduced himself as the head of the Carrick Grange, kind of a farmers' union throughout the Swardlands. Not only offered to handle the dockmaster, all of the offloading and work for your ships, but also provided you with a big open market square in Carrick in which to perform, leasing it to you for an incredibly cheap 5 silver pieces a night with no real terms or conditions attached to that, just as long as you wanted to stay and would pay the incredibly low fees he was charging, you were welcome. But even more so than that, humble and friendly gentleman he is, he invited you to his own personal estate to welcome you to Carrick properly over an evening's meal. And you are here as we had left off. The 4 of you that had arrived here all sat around this table as he had excused himself briefly once more to let another family in for the viewing. And as they come through, say their goodbyes, and he lets them back out again, closing the front door behind him. You hear the taps of his shoes on the wooden floor as Dolphin Gregat makes his way back into the room again. Again, briefly apologizing before resuming his seat and back up at the head of the table. And again, I'm terribly sorry about all of this. It's just a, well, simple requirement of the job, I suppose. Things need doing, and none of us really get any particular say in when Pharasma decides she wants to take her keep. But where were we then? Again. Right, I was asking you, I believe we had talked about the Turpin Row, visiting up there on further inland at some point for their Stump Festival, making our way down the road. We were talking about a map, deliberating over possibly some various journeys, some routes the group of you could make on your tour throughout the Swardlands, throughout the Carrick Grange to put on your shows, to optimize your time, your enjoyment, your profits, of course, as you've come down here as a business, obviously. And even as he just gets settled into his chair once more, here's another knock on the door. And before the butt has really even rested in the seat, again, he stands up and excuses himself. This is much more than I had been expecting, honestly, given this evening. Of course, Carrick is a fairly large town, and he was, well known enough, but all of his family, his close friends, his acquaintances, and whatnot already come by for the funeral proper, and for this viewing, I'd expected this to be a relatively quiet evening, or I'd have invited you over a different night. I am truly sorry for this, but please, one moment. And excuses himself once more. As he does, he would open the door now, not to any relatives of the recently departed, but to a Leshy who has made his way here.
Ah, greetings, sir. You have quite the mustache.
No.
Are they? Ah, I hear Solon. Ah, this must be the right place. Excuse me, sir, as I start walking in.
I do apologize. I assume you're with the
It's quite
circus
all right. It's quite all right. Not a problem. So I keep walking.
So you just kind
Not
of...
gonna
You gotta what?
walk in and try and look for Solon. Sir, is this the direction? Are they over? I've got a bit. Solon? If you would make that delightful noise again, it would be much easier to find you.
And he reaches down and attempts to kind of extend a hand down towards you, sort of confused, but a smile still on his face. Yes, if you will, good sir. She's right this way down this forward hall. Dolphin Gregat, master of the Carrick Grange and mortician of Carrick, at your service. And please, welcome to my humble abode.
Ah, yes, thank you. Quite a nice place you've got there. Quite a nice place.
Thank you. Thank you. This house has been my pride and joy, and the whole town of Carrick really a true pleasure to work with. But please, if you'll just follow me right this way. And he would move up and through, we'd see Ara kind of poking his head out of the kitchen. Kind of confused here.
Hey, Selwyn, Barkbeard's back.
I have never seen this plant before in my life.
Barkbeard, how was your nap?
Well, it was quite illuminating, actually. I've really figured quite a bit out.
We were gonna leave you back there to circus.
Oh, either way, it works out well enough. It would have been a good stroll, although I'm sure the water would not have been as easy to traverse as...
We did
maybe
walk
it was a good
every
thing.
day. I might have to apologize. Misako may have peed on you once, but I wouldn't worry.
That's quite all right, you know. I feel very hydrated.
This is good.
Well, I do apologize for I hadn't meant to exclude anyone. I wasn't aware there was another member of your kind of leading council of the circus, so to speak.
There's not
and-
escort this thing out immediately.
Selwyn, it's Barkbeard.
I have never seen this tree before in my life.
Well, I feel like this is a great place to sit. Where's, what were we talking about here?
I beg your apologies for the group of you, Selwyn. I am afraid I'm a bit confused here. Is this... He just kind of looks back and forth between Ara and Barkbeard. He seemed very
Yes?
interested in making his way in. I suppose I made the assumption that he was... Well, he seemed very familiar, knew you by name at the very least.
I have never seen this plant
yes,
before.
yes,
I don't know
yes.
what the other people are talking about.
she's a little shy, you know. I don't know if you know this about Selwyn, but with information, she's just a little shy about it. But not to worry. I'll try and help her along.
Well, good sir, I'm sorry, it was all a very well confusing moment, and I didn't actually get a proper name from you.
Hemlock Barkbeard.
Well,
Yeah,
Mr.
see, that's the sound of recognition over there. She might have hit her head once or twice, but
Did
Well,
you
Mr.
hit your head,
Barkbeard,
Solomon?
I certainly
Did
sense
you?
a bit of history between the group of you at the very least. Though whether this is an elaborate joke on the part of Miss Selwyn here, I'm still admittedly not entirely positive. Barkbeard, or Brother Selwyn, or Mr. Batsky, or Miss Arabis, any of you, is... Shall I rouse the guard?
No, Mr. Barkbeard is with us. Do not listen to Selwyn.
It's fine, not a problem. Not a
There-
problem. Food
there
is good.
Yes, it's very tasty. There's this bit of what's the word? Tension
Hooked.
between the two of them. I don't know what kind.
by the way, Zerg, you're looking like you're putting on some weight. You've been eating well recently, I can tell.
Yes. Yes.
The difficulty of the chainmail leotard is there's no belt to loosen as you go ham on the table here. It only
Just
goes
explodes.
as far as it goes.
It starts to sort of seep out in between, like just
Oh,
green mush
oh.
through
Billy's
the
gonna look like a waffle by the end of this. But it's Gregit sets himself back down the seat. Well, I suppose the antics of circus folk. I apologize again, very much unknown to me. Please, it seems that by and large you're welcome here, Mr. Barkbeard, and Miss Selwyn, I do hope this isn't a terrible offense on my part, but admittedly I'm not, well, quite
No.
sure.
How long of an appointment do you need for your services?
For my services?
Yes.
For my services as the town's mortician?
Yes. You heard me. You heard me correctly.
I'm sorry, I may have heard you correctly, but I'm not positive I quite understand what it is you mean.
I just mean when inevitably I either kill myself or kill Barkbeard.
Selwyn.
This, a grim humor, perhaps, but I would find maybe ill-conceived on the, well, an eve such as this. Well, as I've townsfolk coming and going for the viewings of a very, well, and he almost seems like at this point he's been pretty decent so far at handling the, I would say, general antics of the party, but he's starting to bumble a bit. He is a bit confused, and it seems like he's kind of reaching and not really sure how
what?
to
Sorry?
answer this.
Well, also, not to worry. If Selwyn dies, I know how to utilize her body to the fullest
It's
extent. We
no-
won't really need your services for that.
See, this is
I
why
don't
I need
think.
to ask in advance.
Nobody's going to die while Arabis is here. Stop.
All right. Yes.
All right. Okay, so I'll have to schedule 2 people.
You do not threaten me.
No, no threats here.
Anyways, as you were saying, something about a schedule or something. I have, large ears.
Right. I do believe we were going over the map that Miss Selwyn had acquired here of the general region of the Grange and the Swordlands interior, discussing possibly how best to move about the area, how best to proceed with your traveling circus, as I assume that with the size of the production that you have there, of course, moving things around is quite the commitment, both for time and for coin, I'd figure. Moving at least a dozen wagons up and down the roads here is going to be no easy feat. That much is certain. And well, if you'll pardon me, I believe many of the specifics we discussed prior have well and truly left me, as perhaps have my senses for this evening. But I think you'd find it the easiest, of course, if you were to begin with the show here in Carrick, directly. You have the market grounds, you have a big open square, and a massive bustling port. Now, true, many of the sailors, deckhands, and crewmen are in and out of the ports on a daily basis, taking their various ships to and fro from Diablo, from Absalom, or from even further afield outside the Starstone Isles themselves. But there is a sizable standing population here in Carrick, and the biggest you'll find throughout the heartlands of the Swardlands, so to speak. The Sward is large and specked with many settlements, many marked on your map there, but a fair number of them are little more than villages, hamlets, or minor farming communities that I'm not sure that your expense and your travel would be really justified in visiting specifically. Really more patrons that would more easily move to a nearby larger city like Cassenlee or Turpinroe or, well, Carrick itself.
Right, but I have already made a doodle, and I'll show him the map.
Hold on. I got this. You've already made a doodle. And so as you reveal just the red scrawls all over this, the big circle around the coast of sadness, he takes a look at it. And this is certainly a foundation to some planning, perhaps. May I ask about the coast of sadness? I'd imagine throughout that area is where you'll find the largest crowds, really.
Well, it's the coast of sadness because everything else is a nice, even circle, but that one's cut off by water and is adjacent to the coast, and therefore the coast of sadness.
Ah, I see. Are you aware that you have 2 8 stops on this?
No?
Well, again, I don't terribly mean to pry here. Just trying to give what assistance I can, of course, via the knowledge that I have of the region, just from what I've gained from living here a better part of my life, certainly the last few decades, knowing the people's ins and outs as well as what master of the Grange can, perhaps. The Sward's a large and sprawling place, and yeah, of course, I don't wish to turn on your toes here. It seems like you have, of course, put some thought into this, Miss Selwyn, but...
Oh, barely.
I feel it could perhaps be improved,
Okay.
or at least streamlined.
I have some specifics. It has to be 13 stops.
13
I will not
stops.
watch that. Yes, 13 stops.
All right.
That's
Just
it.
thinking. Well, 13 stops is going to be terribly difficult to do just within the Sward. There's, well, truly.
Okay, so hear me out on the trigonometry of this. We can stop the same place twice.
Well, I suppose if you're seeking for a magical number 13, perhaps you'd best be doing a set of laps, so to speak. You could do 12 quite easily, but
All right, we just do one extra in Carrick, right?
you could do 2 in a row in Carrick, I suppose. Well, by my estimations, it took you a pair of ships to get your show across from the Isle of Arran and off to Carrick in the first place. And again, your production is quite large. Moving it's going to be difficult. As you can see on your maps here, the only real primary road here throughout the Sward is that runs down the coast, your coast of sadness you've so helpfully circled here, between Carrick, Mattencleave, and down beyond. Those are certainly going to be your easiest opportunities to put shows on. You have a well-traveled, large road that'll easily handle wagons and carriages of all sizes, and the entirety of your train should be no real difficulty to manage. Anything further infield than that you go, start pushing deeper into the Sward towards Cassenlee, or even further back to Turpinroe, you're dealing with, well, farming trails, which of course are meant to handle wagons and goods and livestock, but, well, I'm not saying it's impossible, of course. It's certainly doable, and again, I'd very much advise that you do. But you may not want to make that journey more than necessary. And beyond that, deeper in the Sward here, as he points down just kind of the general southern region of the map around Potter's Lake, there's a wide assortment of various settlements that are spread not terribly far from each other by smaller and smaller farming trails, the further you spiral out from the main settlements and the further you get away from Potter's Lake. But that said, there's 2 main hubs. Cassenlee, down here, which also is, as I mentioned before, beautiful orchards. Definitely worth visiting regardless. It's near as big as Carrick and Mattencleave themselves. And further out, even though you've technically left the Grange there's Turpinroe. And from Turpinroe, you've even got a further road down there that leads further inland if you wish to take your show. You are a traveling circus, after all, I understand. Further throughout the Isles at a later occasion.
No, that little map doesn't go that far.
Well, I'm certain that we could find you a cartographer in town that could get you a bit of a fuller one.
Cartograph.
It's impossible.
Cartographer, yes. Miss Aramis. Simply a map maker, rather. One who has all the various charts and plans of the areas and where things expand to and fro and how the roads interconnect. And shipping routes, trading trails, even these farming paths.
All right.
What is
so
the Old Forest Tower?
Oh, the Old Forest Tower is one of those ancient Aeon towers. I don't know much about them personally, but I know some of the farmers regularly make pilgrimages out to them. But that one in particular, there's actually 3 of them on here, you see, and he points down to both that and then
Wellspring
much closer in the Wellspring Tower over here by Matt and Cleve, and this Life-Root Stone, which is directly behind my face for the stream, down here past Castanley. The trio of them, and a 4th not too much further inland. I know the legends say that once upon a time, Rodin, praise be his divinity wherever it may lay these days, raised them as part of the great miracle that was the Starstone Isles initially. Of course, I've never been much for religious studies myself. Scoffed at them as a child in my school studies and didn't follow up perhaps as much as a man should in adulthood.
You
At
scoff
least-
when the wind blows? You scoff at the wind?
Don't
I'm
respond.
sorry. There may have been a
Just
miscommunication.
I'm sorry. Good, continue.
Well, I know the pilgrimage sites for local farmers, but they're certainly not something you'd be performing at. Like, people don't live there. They're old ruins these days. And besides that, he kind of strokes his beard a bit. I know that in recent years, the pilgrimage to these towers have largely fallen out of favor. And even more recently so, there's been a bit of odd rumors surrounding some of them. Were I you, I would stay well clear, honestly. They'd be worth viewing from a distance, but they're quite large, and most of them, well, save for Life-Root these days, can be seen from the nearby towns.
Well, if we go up the coast first, we could get a lot of money, and then we'd have plenty of money to spare in case going inland is less profitable than we first thought.
Well, if you're going to be looping around this here, you've got your plan ending with Matt and Cleve, and unless you are more than welcome, wish to be a more permanent feature of the SWAD, I'd imagine you'd want your route to end more down towards Turpin Row and, well, the Moravian Road that connects really out to the rest of the Isle of Kortos and Willowside beyond.
Yes, quite. Yes, so we could go across the coast of Sadness, go up to Fernie, and then head south.
Coast is not sad.
Of course, it's
And
very sad.
Fernie's just one of those many smaller settlements I've been mentioning. It's a great little farming community. As I said, it's largely Shunies to my understanding, but I haven't been up there personally in some time. But I'm relatively certain that if you were to head out towards Matt and Cleve, the vast majority of the good folk of Fernie would make their way down to the show there. Fernie itself is a town of a few hundred, perhaps. You're not going to get nearly as much value for all the passage and the difficulty, and I imagine you'd be spending as much coin just trying to move the show there as you'd be hoping to draw in completely. Not even considering actual profits.
So, what about Matt and Cleve? How are you feeling about Matt and Cleve there, Selwyn?
Well, we should go there first. I don't like it being 12, Selwyn. Or second.
Okay.
Or third. But not 12.
No, the
I have
Cleve's something much larger. It's a gathering place for basically all the farms that are down here past the Verdant Passage, out to the east down the coastlines. It started as a trading post once, just a simple place to rally all the wagons, get all the various goods, the shipments, and all the harvests together before bringing him down to Carrick to send out to seas, out to Diable, to Absalom, to the greater regions. But over the years and the decades, it built up into a, well, just by its location, a massive intersection of a wide variety of communities. Cleave, as I said, up at Castanley. Honestly, I couldn't tell you exactly which, but each of them aren't quite Carrick, but near enough in size. Probably a bit more than half. Sizable settlements for the Sword.
Well, do we want to do a show here, as we are already here?
Place? Yeah, yes, obviously we start in Carrick.
Well, if I want to be quite frank with you, I'm not entirely positive why that would be marked specifically on this map. It does seem a bit of an odd choice. That's a farmstead a ways outside of Mountain Clee down to the south that's, well, been abandoned for some years as far as I understand. And you see, the Curra's passed away.
Ah. That's odd.
That's truly unfortunate, and didn't have much for heirs to pass the farm on to, I'm afraid.
Alright.
A story that seems to be all too common throughout the Grange sometimes.
So does anyone own the land now? Or is it just abandoned? Is it ours for the taking, or is that not how it works around here?
Well, I think that's certainly a question not so much for me as it is for the, well, local Church of Abadar. I'd be taking that one down to the head cleric, Bulmotel. I believe he's actually made his way down to Turpin Row for the Stump Festival, so he won't be back in Carrick for
the Stump Festival.
Oh, yeah, you missed our conversation about that. Turpin Row's having their annual Stump Festival before too long. I'd recommend that Selwyn and the rest of your friends make the trip down there just to see it for yourselves, if not to perform afterwards, while the crowds are supposedly primed and ready, so to speak. But again, not an expert of the performative arts. I don't know if that would make your situation better or worse. See, the business side of my brain would tell me that you have a bunch of people that are already gathered together, ripe for entertainment, but of course, you may well know better. With their purses spent and their sights set on the Stump Festival, they may be less willing to follow up on a circus, but that's your area of expertise, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, sure.
What do you mean, sure? Oh, right. It's not your. Yeah, it's mine. It's my expertise. So why have there been so many people come knocking tonight outside my entourage? As low if I am to say it.
Well, that's for the viewing, of course, Miss Selwyn, for good Sir Huttonfell. As I said, it was rather sudden. No one really expected it. Kind of came very much out of the blue. It surprised the whole community. Of course, the funeral itself was actually held yesterday afternoon, I do believe, with most of the close family, relatives, and his nearest friends, his wife. And this is the last viewing before the body is dealt with. He wished a simple cremation, so that coffin isn't actually going into a grave anywhere. It's not being shipped off to the Hollows, but it makes a nicer showing.
He died suddenly, you said?
It's something not too unheard of, I'm afraid. I only simply mean to imply that he seemed to be in good health. He wasn't particularly old, and bore no illnesses I was aware of, but well, sometimes it's the way the bones fall, I'm afraid. And none of us can know the reasons or pass the judgment but the Grey Lady herself.
Well, I mean, we could also, as newcomers to the area, pay our respects. We would want to be respectful.
I'm more wondering, do you know cause of death?
I haven't actually done.
Look.
I don't begin any of my duties in a more professional standing with the body until after all of the funerary rites and everyone's had opportunities to say their goodbyes. So I haven't given any kind of real inspection or anything, but truth be told, unless it's particularly queer circumstances, we don't. I mean, an investigation's not normally something that's. Well, that's a lot of pressure on the wife and the family and the friends, and it's only really if it's up to them to want to investigate. Now, don't mistake my words here. I may have misspoken here. Nobody suspects any foul play or anything. It's just a simple, well, seemingly passing into sleep. It's not unheard of, and admittedly not even uncommon. Just unfortunate.
Well, not to worry. We'll pass by and pay our respects on our way out.
That's... I would only ask that, again, I'm not terribly keen to the customs of traveling circus life, or how you conduct your business or your rights and
It would
whatnot,
be
but
very rude to not pay our respects coming into a new culture, I would think.
It's just that it's more traditionally an opportunity for those who seek closure, really, with the departed.
Oh, I'm sure they seek closure for the dead body. Yes, that's how these things go, right?
Yeah, it's certainly a very interesting and very different culture the group of you come from. One that's
It's just Barkbeard.
well, Buckbeard and you yourself, Lulu, or Mr. Lara. I apologize. I'm unfamiliar very much with the customs of your kind, as I believe you're the first two that I've ever met. Not just one, but two in one night. It's such an interesting way of thinking. Such a different mindset than those that we used to. Those that I'm traditionally exposed to here in Carrick, and, well, perhaps just a misstep of my upbringing. The life that I've chosen here in the Sword is that it's simple and sometimes perhaps overly so. Sheltered, even, some could call it. But there are a great many different viewpoints, a great many different opinions, and a great many different way of dealing with things. Throughout, I imagine hundreds of different peoples throughout the various Inner Sea regions. I've never been off the Isle of Kortos myself, so a lot less exposure than, well, any single one of the sailors making their way through the ports on a daily basis.
Well, when you come to our circus, you'll be able to see a lot of world wonders, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, so we will discuss our traveling route at some point, and I guess...
Oh, of course. And this is an apology on my behalf. That's a fault in my hospitality. I invited you here to welcome you to the town of Carrick, to the Sward, and to enjoy an evening's meal with what seems like great, fine folk and fine company. I didn't wish to bog us down in, well, neither your business nor mine, truth be told. But...
Right.
Are you drawing on the map? This is an important map. Your face is not... You're not very good at hiding things, and I don't think you're sneaky as you would once assume.
That's just a happy little area. There's a lot of happy folk there.
Well, it is right next to the coast of sadness, so maybe the happiness will spread.
There's no sadness at the coast.
No, you're right. It's the coast of extra sadness now.
Ooh.
Oh, Selwyn.
Don't make me make it the coast of extra sadness.
You can't put two extras. You can only do the one. Shouldn't even
Alright.
do that.
Mm-hmm. All right, on it.
Can I ask a more personal request of the group of you?
Ah.
Sure.
And by no means do I expect you to, well, extend any favors of your own volition or anything. We've only just met this morning.
That always happens a lot.
Well, I heard you were coming, and I haven't led you astray. I truly believe that your circus coming by is a great opportunity for the people of the Grange and for the Sword. And as I'm sure you have heard either in town or possibly on your way here, or from the folk of Carrick itself after your arrival, times have been kind of hard laid for the Sword folk. I touched on it a bit earlier myself. And the Grange has come together to try and ease everyone's suffering as much as possible, but... well, the weather's been poor and the crops aren't growing like they used to. And... it doesn't seem like it's just a bad season. It's seeming more and more with seasons and even years to be a bit of a trend. And there's lean times ahead, I fear, but that's not the heart of the matter I'm getting at here.
Okay, so what do you want us to kill?
I'm sorry. You may misunderstand here. I heard from the folk up in Escadar that the group of you're much more capable than just simple circus performers. I heard you actually did a good turn of work for the constables up in town, helping them out with some strange business. And
Right.
So who do we need to kill?
Yeah, that's
Could you let the man speak, please?
I
Alright,
appreciate your
continue, sir.
enthusiasm, and I do wish it were so simple. I truly do. But I was rather hoping you could help me, perhaps with the opposite.
okay. Who do you want me?
You-
Who do you want us to kill to save?
Look, the long and short of it is, I think I'm haunted. And I think whatever it is haunting me,
Do you hear the voices in your head?
something
Will
worse.
you let the man speak, Harvey?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, come on.
I think
Arvis.
whatever's haunting me is taking out some kind of divine wrath, whether I've brought down through missteps I don't even understand or something else, but they're taking it out on the folk of the Grange to torment me. These... Mr. Hutton fell here. He disappeared, perfectly healthy, no signs of sickness or anything, and he's... Again, it's not unheard of, but... There's not even the first in recent memory. And not even the first dozen, really. This has been bringing me near to the brink of despair. And I'll admit, I find the thought of your wonderful circus coming to town a truly welcome distraction. Truth be told, though, I don't know if it's really going to help in the long run if there is something happening. With your circus here, I worry this haunting, these deaths are going to keep continuing. But as I said, I've heard you're so much more than business managers and circus performers. My associates, my contacts up in Escadar, spoke of you like your storybook heroes. Swords and magic blazing throughout the land, fixing all kinds of problems. And I know this is rumors and hearsay, of course, but
No, it's not wrong. It's just not
Yeah.
right in the right way.
I mean, we are heroes.
We can definitely check it out.
Don't like the H word.
We saved the mayor of Aberton,
For reimbursement, yes.
and then we high-fived and called ourselves heroes.
I'm
You were there
familiar
for
with
that, someone.
I
was
don't know
there for
about Aberton, and that's a town I've never heard of, I'm afraid. My knowledge beyond Carrick doesn't go much farther than its sister port cities she does much business with. But this is exactly what I mean. Here, let me start at the beginning, I suppose. And then you can tell me what you make of this, and whether I've built this up as something out of nothing in my own head, or... Last... Well, must be 14 months now. I've started having dreams. Strange dreams. Vivid dreams. And I think they're more than just that. And they've always started largely the same way. I'm waking up in my own bed, late at night, as if it was almost real. And I see a young girl stand in the doorway of my bedchambers. With sunken, hollow eyes, if she's even got 'em, wearing a funeral shroud and a veil. But I don't recognize her. It's no one I've ever provided services for. No one I recognize from the sward. And she stands there for a moment and then just leaves. Obviously, strange nightmares are, well, I mean, there's something that happens to children as much as grown men sometimes. But so they keep happening. The same every time. I feel myself standing up. I see this girl. Shroud, veil. Expressionless. And after it happened a few times, I mustered up the courage to follow after her. And this dream continues. She's left my bedroom, walked down the hall, descended the stairs into that very viewing parlor that I've been letting folk into tonight. And she just stands there, pointing at the stand. And when I wake up, it's not in my own bed, but standing there in that same place. Next to where I'd lay a coffin. Drenched in sweat, the girl's gone. And I doubt she's ever real in the first place. And this is where it gets to me. The next day, someone turns up dead. Perfectly healthy. No illnesses, no injuries, no nothing. And I'm performing funeral rites the day after.
Okay.
Rather odd.
You don't investigate the body for cause of death when this happened?
I'm a mortician, not like a doctor of any kind.
I am a healer. I could assist you with this one.
Or do it, rather. Would probably be better.
I don't know much beyond preparing bodies for interment, whether that be for cremation or to preserve them, to lay them in a casket for time immemorial, so they're not simply left away to rotten worm food. But if a knife hasn't been plunged through their heart, then there's not much I can tell about the actual cause of death or anything. That's not my training. And we don't have much around, and well, truth be told, I've perhaps thought it a bit too ridiculous to ask the families for permission to look after them. But that's, again, it's theirs. It wouldn't be my stay. Well, it'd be the widow Huttenfell. They'd have to agree to that one.
What if we just take a look? No opening up the body, no, nothing. All right, just have a look around the viewing parlor.
I mean, do you want to get rid of it or not?
I
Seems
understand.
like a fairly serious problem.
I understand that makes perfect sense, of course, and it's a reasonable thing to do. But I mean,
why are you lollygagging about for?
Well, because I can't. I'm the town's mortician, and the master of the Grange at that. I can't exactly be letting the local traveling circus folk that's come by be poking and prodding and rolling around the body as well. It's in
cultural differences here. I'll have you know, it would be quite the story if you were to offend incoming people. I mean, it's just a cultural.
But I'm afraid it'd be a much greater one if I were.
Hold on a second. Well, you just don't tell them. And even if you do, who's going to believe you? Oh yeah, the traveling circus that the abduction?
We're more than a traveling circus, Selwyn. You know that.
Well, yeah, we know that.
I am the Stormborn.
Here we go again.
These things, they would understand.
Either way, they could just not find out, and if they do, just be like, well, there was a weird plant thing that just walked right by me. Which direction was it exactly?
Who wants to roll me a
diplomacy
check here?
That's probably my wheelhouse.
You can assist if you want, Arbus.
Well, I did say a thing. Yeah, I'll assist. You
want to roll these first?
Okay. Once I find it. Still. Oh my god. Where'd all my stuff go? Hold on.
Press C.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Ah, there it is. Panic. Don't panic. Why don't I have diplomacy anymore? Okay, there it is. Never mind. Forget me. I'm dumb. There it is.
Biggest brainus. Wow. All right. So you're gonna successfully assist. So it's gonna get a +1 circumstance bonus on your check here.
Just a moment. It's pertaining to the issue from earlier. I talked to you about.
Yeah.
So
I
just
got
give
you.
me.
It's Tech Issues Day.
It is. It always is. It's wild, isn't it?
It's always Tech Issues Day.
But
at least there are
tonight?
tech issues now. Not Roll20's tech issues.
What are we doing tonight? The same thing we do every night. Solve tech issues.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
We're like the Geek
No, it's
Squad.
just for the good boys and girls in chat. My E drive is currently collapsing, so.
Ay, ay, ay.
He's trying to
Yeah.
play on a hard drive that is currently disintegrating,
Yeah.
which makes it difficult to do literally anything.
Do you want to roll my diplomacy check?
I got you, fam. Don't worry.
And after the results, I'll just have a.
You rolled Zerg.
Zerg.
Zerg's
Yeah,
trying to
How
help.
does Zerg get rolled?
Zerg's trying to help.
Zerg's help.
Very diplomatic.
There you go.
All right, I'll use my session reroll.
Okie
well.
dokie.
Wanted to see it.
There we go.
Excellent.
Oof.
Hmm.
Oof.
Why is it always me? Why does this always happen to me?
So, with a natural 1,
You got greedy.
Whatever, I'll use the assurance.
you're gonna sure?
Sure.
Okay.
Why
So-
not?
The regular failure, instead of a critical failure, he's gonna kind of shake his head. Look, I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for even so much as just hearing me out here. But I really can't let you do anything with the body. What I can do is I could give you directions to the widow Huttonfell and her sons, or some of his close friends that were at the funeral. Those who come by for the viewing, so you can speak with them. But without the lady's permission, I can't let you do anything with the body.
I'm
It'd
sure
be
Selwyn
unprofessional.
talk them into letting us do it. They're probably
Right.
curious as well.
Well, if you do, I'd advise you to be working rather quickly here, as
Alright.
after the viewing is set to end here in a couple of hours. An hour after sundown was the time we put down. I'm heading right to the cremating.
Oh. Well, in that case, let's get going. Let's go get some permission.
This is the West Manors that even conceivably possible that one could present hosting new guests and new friends here, but I didn't want to bring you here just to heap you with my problems. This isn't something I expected to drop everything to be running after, of course. I just wondered if perhaps you had any thoughts, any experience. I've heard some wild tales about what you dealt with in Escadar. All kinds of things, and I just, for a moment, I allowed myself to feel a bit of hope.
Which is why, first of all, we need the permission to, have a good gander at the body.
But, what about your friend Cookie? He's preparing us a fine dessert. He'll be crestfallen.
Yes,
You're
Kogi.
welcome.
Please, my problems aren't yours. And neither, by extension, are the Granges. I appreciate it, but I really don't know this much to be learning from this body. It doesn't look like anything. He simply passed in his sleep. And again, he looks no different than anyone else who'd simply been caught by, strange tremors or strokes or any one of a wide variety of things.
But people don't just die without reason.
Well, that's the thing. They do sometimes. It's just a bit
But since
too consistent for my liking.
All right, which is why we need to go get some permission to have a look and see if there's anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, where can we-
where's this house should be? We should be
Where can we?
going to.
Yeah, where can we find the widow?
And he would give you some simple directions out towards a farm, a little further down the southern end of Carrick. It would be a probably 5-ish minute walk from his manor. Not terribly far. Well, if nothing else, let me again profess with true sincerity and certainly the fullest heart I've had this evening that I'm terribly sorry for ruining dinner. I really did not mean to what must truly seem like a liturgy here for false
is not
promises
the
and false
problem.
pretenses here. But
You may not believe, but I do, and I am here for a reason.
I
To give you the hope that you have lost.
I turn around, point at my not mouth, like, you didn't ruin dinner for me. If that means anything. And I go to start to walk out.
well, I'd truly be extremely grateful for any effort you could put into this matter. I've told no one of these nightmares. I haven't even gone to the clergy. I've thought about
We'll
going to the
restart real
local
quick.
priest, but
I'll be back in 5.
okay. I thought about going to the local priest, but there's just I
And
don't feel like there's much of anything I'd be able to make of it, and I didn't want to
Just
present
as,
myself a fool to someone I have to deal with on a daily basis, and you know.
just as a precaution, as I'm walking by this viewing area, I actually do want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Fair enough. And as your spell washes out over the area, I don't believe you're going to be detecting any magic in the room. Just let me double check he's not lighting the area with ever-burning torches or something. Yeah, your quick cantrip would not turn up any immediate or obvious signs of magic throughout the area.
Predictable.
Now, here's the problem. We're going to have to do this numerous times today. Because, again, Zindarin's hard drive is dying, which means that he's going to have to continually restart it. And this is going to be real tough to deal with, and I'm honestly not sure the best way to handle it. But I guess let's pause for a moment while I
Zerg is still eating. This is fine.
adjust everything. Zerg's chilling. Alrighty, so this is gonna go there. I'm going to use my phone to add an additional camera. So everything aligns. Alright. And then I need Shemu to restart your camera. And then Colby.
I'm Arbus now.
And then Colby. And then Mono. That should put everyone back. And yeah, that's hopefully that's not too terribly intrusive. We're probably gonna have to do that 2 to 3 more times this afternoon.
Oh, that'll be
Appreciate
fine.
you bearing with us. We have to do it again when he comes back too. But as the group of you excuse yourself from the dinner here, Dolphin Greggett stands up as well to come along with you and let me, while I'm over here, I need to move this spanner here for this scene, and then move it over there for this scene. And he's back. All right, so let's do it again. I guess it's actually quick enough. It might be better to just wait for him to come back. Okay, so yeah, Shemu, I need you to turn your
Shemu.
camera off and back on.
I apologize.
You're good. And then
Nice.
Colby, turn yours on, and then Mono, do the same thing. All right, cool. We're back in order.
Look at
Sorted.
us. Look at us being
Got 'em.
coordinated.
Efficiency.
We've done this
Deal.
dance enough.
We've done this many, many times. So he stands up and he escorts the group of you, at least showing you to the front door. Again, very much embarrassed, but even that seems to be overwhelmed with a very visible sense of relief. Gratitude, even, that you would take any time to deal with what he, regardless of how heavily this clearly weighs on him, doesn't even seem fully convinced is an actual problem. But the door, wringing his hands with a grim look, very torn between the huge faux pas he's made and the fact that he may actually finally get some closure on this. Well, I promise you that this haunting, if this is these nightmares, even if this is even a real thing, is truly not the reason that I'm so eager to have your circus here, to help take folks' minds off of things, to get you to land and invite you to dinner. But I am truly beyond grateful that, well, the first people I've opened up to about this have not only seem to be taking it seriously, but seem to be going terribly out of their way to help me with it. All of you.
It seemed like a very odd thing to happen, so it's kind of interesting to look into.
Indeed.
Well, I'm sure you've a great deal of your own work to do, and please don't delay any of your plans or inconvenience yourselves duly on my behalf here. I'm not even... The human mind is a terribly interesting thing. I've drawn a whole lot of various conclusions and strange thoughts out of nothing. that this may easily be one of them. I don't want to take too much of your time chasing after, well, ghosts.
Ghosts. Hey. No, that's what makes it interesting.
But I
What
do
if
thank
it's something?
you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, all of you, so much. You're generous folks beyond anything I could possibly have imagined. Well, I hope that as much as we're ending on a sour note and with great haste here, the dinner was enjoyable enough. And, well, I suppose I'll head to the kitchens and tell your friend Cookie what's transpired here.
Well, we'll be back afterwards with permission.
Well, then I'll make sure to save you some of the dessert. Best of luck. Truly, I don't know if it's better to hope that you find something of this or find out it's truly nothing. But I thank you either way.
Of course.
And that's as
Now-
he closes the front door, leaving the group of you to your adventures here.
Well,
Hmm.
let's go fool some noblemen. Or
Well, I would assume
Why would
she
you
would
fool
want
anyone?
this to be looked
Well, it's not-
into. I find it odd that they are not more alarmed than they
Well,
are.
mostly
people
because
just die sometimes.
I assume it's because they haven't noticed the correlation between what's been going on, whereas this man, with these nightmares he's been having, is seeing something that potentially might not be there, but might be. Now, when we get to the relatives, we should not pose as a circus, as that's less likely to
Do
allow
you
us
want
to
me
act.
to do the talking and be the
No, I wanted to say silent.
Why?
Might
do I-
need to change Selwyn.
Well, I'm in dress clothes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of look like the Empress of the Wilds because it's my outfit.
Right.
You do look rather dashing, Artemis. A very formal dress you
But
have
this
on.
is my performance garb. Of course, they look.
Right, but they don't know that as of yet, hopefully.
Should I
And
wipe the face mud off a little bit, maybe?
yes, that would be nice. Try to be as medicinal as possible and as regal. Just stand there, nose upturned, and don't endanger my clients. That's all I need. And the rest of you, until I ask specifically, all I need for you to do is stay silent. Which,
We could actually probably wait at the road. I don't know if we really have to go all the way out there.
that's true. That's a remarkably good suggestion, actually.
Expose into
Actually,
as
yeah.
little circus as possible.
Yeah. You be okay though, Selwyn. You get in trouble, you call me. I come.
It shouldn't be a problem. However, I would like one of you to come with me, just standing guard or as posing for the, the.
Well, I could turn into a tree.
No,
as
no,
you
no,
knock at the
I need-
door.
I can turn into a wolf to be.
No, 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 I just need as normal as possible. Pose as someone who would do the autopsy.
Oh, I can't help you there.
No, that's true. Honestly, there are two candidates. There's Zerg. It's great.
I think Zerg's back, still eating. I don't think he walked out with
Zerg
us.
never left.
Where's Mr. Baskin?
That's fair.
You hear the door of the building open behind you. Oh!
I think.
So where are we going?
Great is.
I really pity any bathrooms that are going to be used later.
Right.
Oh, there's a story about that.
If you
Oh, really?
stay here, then me and Gray will do the, well, almost reconnaissance, I suppose.
I don't really look like a doctor. And,
You
like,
don't have to. We're commissioned. So,
Cool.
you
Sounds like a
follow
plan.
along with me, and for the most part, stay silent unless I specifically ask you questions, if that's okay with you.
It's a lot to remember, Selwyn. I will do my best.
Well,
Very complicated task here.
yeah, staying silent. Oof.
Don't say any words. That's it. So, as the group of you were talking, you're making this walk down through the other side of Carrick. You came in through an incredibly busy and bustling port, dealing with a half dozen, if not a full dozen ships alongside your pair that you'd used to ship in with. But the city quickly transitions out into smaller cottages, simpler businesses, market squares, and then even further beyond into large, sprawling farms. As you make your way down south to the other end of the town, following the directions that Greggett had given you, you come upon a fairly small, humble farmstead. As the sun is already near setting, you can see lantern light flickering through the windows of this simple wooden building. Small, doesn't look like it's doesn't look like it could hold much more than a single family, and even at that, if it was a couple and a pair of children, it's probably relatively cramped.
Right.
Attached to a decently sizable plot of land, currently a field largely cleared, dirt with some scattered grasses and weeds barren of any current harvest.
I'll walk up and knock on the door. What was the family's name again?
Huttonfell.
Cottonfell? Huttonfell?
Huttonfell.
Huttonfell. Okay, thank you.
So, you walk up and knock. You hear a call from inside. One moment, please! I'm coming. And the door creaks loudly on its hinges as it's pulled open to a very small woman with some fairly dark brown hair, smattered with some random strands of gray. It's fairly hunched over, but well built. Bandana tied around the top of her head in lieu of actually doing anything more to deal with the hair. As she opens the door and looks, and then even for her looking down to the gnome and Arbus in front of her.
I walked up with them.
Oh, you did too, three of you? So, okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Disregarding Selwyn completely.
I would have waited for you to stop.
Well, he walked up like as you're knocking, I assume. So he's there. The door opens. Can I help the group of you?
I'll pull out a tiny card from inside my, my clothes. Look at it. There's nothing on it. They don't know that. I'll look up the Huttonfells, I presume. Is that correct?
Yes, my name's Aurelius Huttonfell, but you can just call me Aura. Just kind of looking like I was very confused across the group of you.
Miss Huttonfell, do you know who I am?
I can't say I do, no. I don't recognize any of the group of you.
That's quite all right. My name is Lady Shannon-Lott. I am with the Investigatorial Society of Mysterious Murders. Now, there seems to have been a slew of not disappearances, but deaths of natural causes within the city, and we have been commissioned to, investigate. However, we have hit a small snag upon our initial findings, let's say, which is the sad fact that prior to the cremation of your dearly departed friend, husband...
I'm sorry. This is a terribly much to process right now. I'm not interested, but thank you.
No. I apologize. No. I'm not here to tell you anything. I am merely here to help find out what happened to the departed. And to do that, we need to have a closer look at the body in question before it's cremated. And we have come here to ask this permission.
I don't know who any of you are, what this is all about, really, but I'm afraid that you're barking up a wrong tree here. There's nothing much that happened to my husband. It just, the Rostel saw fit to bring another tiller to his fields is all.
That as it may be, if there were foul play involved, would you not wish to know?
Look, I don't want to make much trouble of this here. I don't know what is it that you want.
Zerg's gonna brush past, pushing the door open. Where's your bathroom? Where is bathroom?
Just push. It's around
I don't even
around
glance
the
at him.
back.
Okay. In he goes. Gone into the house.
It's outside. It's the house. Like as you push into it, like through the front door, you can see the all of it. It's really more just like a cabin, a single cabin, like a studio apartment almost, with one area kind of sectioned off with a larger bed and then two smaller bunks next to it, and a living area and a kitchen just kind of in the corner. So you come and you can see all of it immediately, and there's not like any separate bathroom or anything. Oh, please, it's outside.
How very strange. Does this happen often?
I don't.
Miss Huttonfield, let me cut to the chase. All I need is your permission to have a closer look at the body. That's all.
I
No
don't
strings attached.
I don't understand what for. I don't know if you're thinking like someone had stabbed him or smothered in his sleep, but he just
No,
he just
nothing
didn't wake up.
It,
It happens sometimes. It's look, I've had a very difficult day.
I understand, but this is also in your interest and in the interest of preventing this from happening to anyone else.
Like, why don't you again, redemption shot?
Yep.
Make me a diplomacy check.
Let's try it.
Doing all that talking.
Yeah. That was a lot of talking.
I can't.
Well, I'm gonna hero point.
This seems impossible.
From outside, you hear.
Oh, thank God! Finally.
Do you hear that? And you're like, thank God, finally.
Imagine rolling 3 natural ones in a row.
I would have cried.
While your hard drive is dying and you're struggling to even remain connected. So what a 35?
Yeah.
The 35. She not seeming really to fully still even understand what's going on here. Look, if you smarter folk think there's something you can investigate, or this is for the town guard or whatever. I've had my piece. I was by earlier this evening to say my goodbyes. You do what you need to do. My blessing.
Thank you, Miss Huttonfield.
But
I
please
apologize
don't-
for the intrusion.
Don't bring whatever this is back here.
Of course.
I've made my peace. You hear me?
Understand.
Now, and she goes to close the door again. If no one's gonna stop her, we're gonna.
I'll give her a bow.
Before she closes the door, I take her. I just grab her hand. May I still bless you and your family in these hard times. Just kind of bow my head a little bit.
Not really positive what to make of that or whatever the hell you are.
Well, it's gotta be a blessing if a plant says it, right?
I don't know if you're something harvested or growing out in his great fields themselves, but I thank you. Now, please. It's late, and I had to call the kids in from the field, and we need to get ready to end this night as well as we can. Well, you, Miss, I'm sorry, your name was terrible much for my mind. He'd been having nightmares.
He did?
It wasn't something normal, but the last few nights before we left us, he'd been awakening, screaming in his sleep about something.
I see.
I
Thank
don't
you
know
very
if
much.
that helps.
It may. Thank you very much, Miss Huttonfield.
But if there is something more to this, I don't want to know about it.
of course.
But I just want to see if there is any justice to be had. And if this world still has it, maybe you find it. Now, please. I need to
My
go.
condolences for your loss. Will not take up any more of your time. And I'll turn and leave.
And she'll close the door.
So, Leaf, did I not specifically ask that you stay behind?
Did you?
Yes.
My apologies. Arbus did a really good job there.
Indeed. That was perfect.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you may speak again, Gray.
Oh, okay. I was speaking.
Oh, well. Yeah, but I was interrupting you.
That's. Where is Mr. Batsky?
I think it'll be a couple of hours if the past indication.
Zerg will disappear from around the other side of the house, like, oh. Hello, what time is?
Have we
nothing
had
really.
this conversation before about not eating too much?
I don't understand.
Huh.
Too much?
That's what you said last time too.
Yeah, there's no
You're
such
lying.
thing. It's too much.
It's okay.
Either way, not what's
Dang it.
Owen.
There's a giant, like, cataclysmic fart noise in Sirenscape. I know there is, but I can't find it quickly. I've been looking for like 2 minutes, and I couldn't find it. I can't remember what it's called.
You're letting us down.
I've failed.
It's
So
true.
it's not called fart. It's called, like, gas release or pressure release or something.
I just had a soda explode on me.
That's fun.
That's my life. Okay.
Today is a difficult day. Not
This
for the
is a
Circus of
difficult day.
Weird Wonders, but for the players
Ow.
of the Two Perception
It is,
Show.
it is an extremely difficult day for the Circus of Wayward Wonders.
So, with your follow-up with Miss Huttonfell here, and Zerg rejoining the party, having left at least another terrible experience for her future.
Another loss.
Another loss. That's okay. That's a problem for future, not us. You make your way back to the Gregan house. Back out up the steps to the fine front door, the bird bath and the porch, and once again knock. Not 20 minutes after you'd left prior. And after a bit of a delay, as his servants, of course, have left him for the evening, once again, Gregan answers the door. And, seeing the group of you, almost seems a bit surprised. That was... Well, You truly do mean to make something of this, do you? Not that I had any doubt of you or I doubted your integrity or anything, it's just that I dared... Well, it's been over a year and... I dared not really put any stock in it, I guess.
Well, had a whole lot of horses so far. We got confirmation, but now we gotta figure out if there's actually anything to it.
Well, please,
I'm
please.
still remarkably impressed by your mustache, though. It's really quite charming.
Well, I do thank you. I've borne it for a great amount of my adult life, and it's, well, done wonders for me, truth be told. And put a lot of effort into it. Good to see it's been appreciated. So, to the matter at hand, I suppose. Have you spoken with Miss Huttonfell?
We have permission to look over the body as we please. And we are not to report any of our findings to her. She's over it. Which is fine.
Can't blame her, the poor lady. She took it well. One of the big things I've learned throughout a fairly prosperous life of applying my craft here is that everyone handles it very differently. I've seen who I would have described as the strongest folk I've ever known laying low and brought unstoppable, ugly tears I have to deal with the death of someone I didn't even truly think they were that close with. And I've seen true, stout folk hold strong for their kids, and Miss Huttonfell was very much the latter. I don't know how she's feeling inside, as everyone's internal and external struggles are terribly different, but she's put on a stern face, a strong one at that. Strong woman. But she agreed, did she?
She did, yes.
Well, step inside then, I suppose. If you've got her blessing, I'll not stand in your way.
And somehow I managed not to roll 3 ones in a row.
So he leaves the doorway open, where the group of you are all free to come back into this viewing parlor here. This coffin, still awash in purple silk, with these fairly beautiful displays and bouquets on either end, perched on a stone stand, with end tables at either end of the coffin, making sure it's well supported. Dominating the center of this area, and the large rug spread throughout almost the entirety of the chamber, looking just as you'd left it before, but now perhaps the new purpose, or at least somewhat new, more interest. As the group of you would make your way to approach the viewing here, you would see much as you would expect. A man laying that, if you didn't know any better, you could very well believe was asleep. Dressed up in not exquisite noble's finery, but well-kempt. His hair much lighter, almost sandy than his wife's, and much shorter cropped. Brushed and groomed back, very smooth and straight on his head. A fine burgundy and black vest drawn about a white dress shirt, and his lower half largely concealed as just the top of this casket is open for the viewing. He looks, well, perfectly fine. As I said, if you didn't know he was dead, you wouldn't immediately expect it.
Well, Ray, this is you.
Do you want me to examine here? You don't have a room or something maybe we should go to? I mean, I'm fine with right here if that's what you want.
As he comes around back at the doorway here. Well, I suppose it is getting late. I'd agreed to leave the viewing open for until I said an hour after sunset. It seems sunset's just coming. So I can't move the body quite yet, but I'll be taking it back for preparations to the workshop out behind I showed you earlier, here within the hour. You're welcome to stay. Cookie is, I believe, about ready with the dessert.
Okay, we wait then, and we do it back there.
So he'd take you back once more into the dining area of his estates, where the meal had largely been cleaned up and shipped away, brought to the kitchens. The table laid largely bare, but he's quick to bring back out his pair of wines and his whiskey to at least provide drink, as well as a pitcher of water for anyone who had enough at that point in the evening. And indeed, Cookie has a pretty spectacularly made large metal dish of a mixed fruit tart that rolls across a spectrum. Strawberries at one end through to apples on the other, intermingling more as it goes across. He seems damn proud of the thing, and as the little lizard comes in presenting with almost comically oversized, like normal human, like cooking mitts on his tiny little lizard hands, as he carries this in to present it before the group of you. You have a fine meal to pass the next hour. Over the time, no further visitors do come to see and say their final goodbyes to Mr. Huttonfell. But after around an hour has passed, Gregget takes the group of you back down and begins his work. Moving the end tables away from the coffin, what appeared to be very sturdy stone setting they'd originally been laid upon actually seems to be quite easily portable. As he takes it out the back door of his house and out to this workshop he'd had, down the incredibly shallow steps that led up to his back porch, now revealing their purpose. He heads inside to his workshop and, well, welcomes whoever wishes to join him for this investigation inside.
Well, absolutely.
And he'd seen it before. He has a cold metal table here on the southern end, which as he takes this trolley out the doorway, surprisingly capable of opening the coffin up. He has no trouble lifting the body himself and moving it and laying it out on the table here. It is admittedly a short distance. He walks generally with a cane throughout town, but he seems to be, well, far from helpless. As he lays the body there, Dolphin then clasps his hand together and takes a step back, leaving the space for the group of you. Well, I suppose all things worked out largely as they're expected to do. It's providence that he wished to be cremated. So I suppose if you've the blessing of his wife, then you do what it is you need to do. Investigate this as you see fit. And when you're done, I'll see to the final preparations and see the body's properly disposed of. I've got some tools, of course. The organization here may be a bit of a mess, but it's organized just how I like it. So everything's exactly where I expect it to be, and if you need help finding anything, just let me know. I can, well, would you rather I stay here to assist you, help you find tools and work your way around, or would you rather I leave it to your piece? You're more than welcome to use the workshop.
I mean, I don't think I need that. I have everything I need right here.
Very well, then. Well, I put my trust in you, then. You seem fine folk, and it's, well, if you want to look into this at nothing more than the word of a raven old man you've only just met this morning, I won't look the gift horse in the mouth. I'll be inside in the parlor. Whenever you're done your investigations, find me there, and I'll see to the final rites.
Okay.
And, well, let me know, I suppose.
Hmm?
And he makes his way back into the house, closing the back door behind him. Leaving the group of you in this workshop with the body to your investigation. So,
Okay. This is you.
as I said, you've been removed from the environment with this coffin, this great display, the flowers, the proper preparation. It's almost a strange juxtaposition to take that same peaceful body and lay it on this cold brass table in this near clinical, incredibly clean workshop here, with a drain, a large metal grate set into the floor to your left at the foot of the table. The whole of the brass of its surface gently sloped and bowed to drain the entirety of whatever may happen here down towards that on the floor. And again, there's a powerful scent of, though your characters probably may not know what it is. I'm sure the scent of formaldehyde is not unknown to you as players, and I can use it descriptively, even though your characters may not be able to place it. It just smells very strangely clean and sterile to them.
No. Well, can you repeat that S word?
Sterile?
What's that?
Like super clean. It's like clean, but doctor level.
Oh, right.
Potato.
Imagine being clean.
Is this a meme or a translation thing?
No, I'm memeing.
He's
Okay.
memeing. That's all he does is meme.
Yeah.
He's 100% meme.
It's actually fun. Like the wording in Danish, it's steril. So sterile and steril is like the same thing.
Fair enough. All right, so make me your medicine check there, Arbus, and well.
And I know
Take
they're
some-
all sitting there watching and stuff, but I would be very slow and gentle and be muttering in Druidic to myself as I do it, like mentally taking notes and stuff. Just that's her process. Just kind of ignoring everything else around her.
And roll 2 ones.
Ooh,
Oh, never mind.
that's a 39 medicine.
It's just me.
Spicy. 39. Super solid. You love to see it. So, as you look the man over, it's not like that. At first, it's as it appears. He looks perfectly healthy. His tan skin and very calloused palms tend to his life as a relative simple farmer, and he's well built as he's been, well, a pretty hard worker throughout his life. But he bears no real injuries other than very minor superficial things around his hands and arms just from, well, work and day-to-day life. And even looking further than that, you see no immediate signs of, well, anything that's been wrong with him. It's not until you start to explore a little further, really even starting to use some of your own magic to investigate this and try to unravel anything that could possibly be hidden here, that he just seems exhausted. He looks almost as if he died not from starvation or thirst, as he seems to have been largely fine there. Those both have their own clear telltale signs, but of fatigue. And beyond that, an incredibly overwhelming and rapidly onsetting fatigue. With a 39, a critical success, you can tell that he was functionally drained to the point of actual death. But that drain doesn't have any real physical visibility, physical effect beyond, well, he's been prettied up for the viewing, but the telltale signs of the loose skin in his face, sheer exhaustion that had set in. But he doesn't appear to be missing any blood or anything. He hasn't physically been drained. He's been drained drained the status. With a critical success, I'll straight up give you the status effect that led to his death. And it certainly is peculiar. Now, with that doesn't really natively tell you a lot. Because, any one of a great number of plain diseases, even down to the ye olden filth fever, would do the same thing. But they would almost certainly show other symptoms. He has no secondary symptoms, you can say. His sinuses all seem to be fine. His eyes are clear and bright. His throat and inside his mouth doesn't show any signs of recent inflammation or infection. Absolutely zero secondary signs of any kind of illness you can see.
It's like his life was just snatched out of him, drained, but no other tells or anything. It's kind of bizarre.
Do you know what kind of creature could have done that?
Getting hard.
Yeah,
Would I know of any
with
kind of
just the
animal?
body, there's any huge number of
yeah.
causes that could lead to that. Yeah, off just the body, it's enough to be odd, and enough to lend some credence to Gregot's theory that there may very well be something happening, but it's not really even enough to confirm that. With what you see here, it's very possible he could have just reacted very poorly to some strange plague or pox, but again, the lack of any secondary symptoms is super odd. There are a great number of beasts, mundane and magical, throughout Galarian that could possibly cause such things. But for a drain like this like a literal haunting or an actual ghost is, well, not out of the question.
I wonder if the others that came before passed the same way.
Likely. I would say, given the information we have.
Hmm.
And he was having nightmares toward the end.
Did he say that?
No, Miss... What was the name of the family?
It's Ara.
That's her name, but the
Yeah.
family.
I don't remember their name.
No, I mean,
It was long and hard.
it's like 3 syllables,
It's too many syllables.
right?
It's way too many syllables, Arlulu.
Well, that's why I call him Ara. That's 2.
Fair.
We got nothing.
We got something.
There
Oh, we
is
got a
something.
cause of death.
Ish.
Wow.
This couple with the dreams, or the nightmares rather, I don't like this at all, Selwyn.
It is a bit weird, isn't it?
I don't know a lot about ghosts, so I couldn't help you there.
I haven't dealt with many personally either.
Besides the 2 that ambushed Arbus and
It was not an ambush. We were ready for them.
someone said it was going to be an ambush, and it was an ambush.
Selwyn was busy trying to open a door.
That's true, but I was also right about there being a ghost ambush.
Yeah.
Is someone like spamming their mouse, and can you nod, please?
Really registering?
Very.
Oh wow.
Very registering.
Super rich.
XD.
Uh,
That better?
maybe.
He's-
Yeah.
Well, it
Thank
does.
you, Shay.
Arbus, you with that, I mean that's a pretty again, it's a critical success. It's a pretty
Yeah.
thorough investigation. You don't feel like there's anything else to be learned just from the body here.
Well, I guess the next step is we go inform him.
Well,
So-
Findings.
and then hopefully, any information.
Yeah, you could all head back into the house and find Dolphin exactly where he said he'd be. Sat in a chair in front of the hearth in his parlor, waiting for whatever results you may have. And been out there probably 10 minutes or so, looking this over. But he's quick to stand from his chair. No, that was relatively quick. I assume he didn't perform any full, not autopsies or anything, which I thank you. It does make my work significantly easier, fortunately. But, well, did you find anything telling? Anything indicative?
I find that the fatigue that ultimately led to his death was accelerated. Perhaps it's like his life was just snatched out of him, and this, it's kind of strange, yes, but no real physical tells or anything.
That's a very poetic way to put it, Miss Arbus. And perhaps a great many deaths could be described the same way, but I'm sorry. I fear I've wasted the grip of your time and ruined dinner for what sounds like it may very well be no good reason.
No, I don't feel that it was a waste of time. There's something more to this. I have a feeling.
Well, unfortunately, I'm afraid there's not much else I can give you. You got the ravings of an old man here who's perhaps been left alone for maybe a bit too much time with his own thoughts and his own concerns, but the rest of the bodies are long gone, buried or burned one way or the other.
And they were similar with no real physical indications. They were just like this.
So it seems to be.
Where-
And I swear it. I swear it on the grave of my father, and his father, and their father before them. That's every time I'd had these nightmares that I've seen this girl, whether I follow her or not, whatever the dream unravels as, the next morning, someone either in Carrick, or Stomp, or the Cleave, or, well, someone turns up much the same. Perfectly
How do-
healthy, no signs.
But how
no-
do you feel in the morning? I know your job is already pretty stressful, and you get many hours, but do you feel perhaps maybe a little more fatigued than usual?
I mean, I'm a bit shaken, of course. No one
Sure.
sleeps well having dreams like these, but I'm no worse for wear. I mop my brow, await breakfast, and go about my day, and well, every one of them's preparations for a funeral.
So, do we not have enough information to like try a religion check on undead that might cause this?
Not
Come forth in
Really?
dreams and then drain someone.
give me. If you want to throw me a religion, if you want to roll it, it's gonna be real unlikely.
Yeah,
But
I just want to roll a die.
I like,
Throw a
yeah,
20.
rolling
Throw a
dice
20
is
out
fun.
there. Throw-
We're
throw
playing
out.
Pathfinder. Rolling dice is fun. Okay, well,
Hmm.
Oh,
Nice.
so girthy.
what do you got there, buddy?
I rolled a 31. I couldn't see the die.
31's pretty good, I'd say. So with a 31, I mean, this information for nothing, perhaps. You would know there's just a great many things that could cause that. There's a wide variety of tales of various hauntings and indeed things possibly of undead origin that could lead to something similar. You know, with the 31, that there is even a spell simply titled Nightmare that could provide similar effects. But, narrowing it down is near impossible with what little information you have. Well, the hour's certainly late, since I've more preparations to tend to now. Fortunately, cremation's a fair bit easier than preparing for full preservations for a burial and all of that, but there's still a surprising amount of work to be done. A surprising science to it all. And, the time it seems like it's come to ply my craft. Now, if there's anything else you want to inspect of the body, and I suppose the saying, speak now, if ever hold your peace, never been more true.
I feel that was pretty thorough. I gleaned what I could.
Well, then I suppose all I can offer you now is a walk to the door and a pleasant evening. And a very sincere wish that the group of you can sleep well. Better than I've been, at the very least.
Well, may the Stormlord watch you tonight, and maybe you can.
And if you have any other odd dreams, make sure to tell us.
Well, you've been so eager and so quick to action to help me here, of course. If anything happens, if any more of these strange dreams come, if I feel the worst, I'm afraid by the time I tell you it's going to be too late, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you in the loop. I truly do. If there's anything to this, and even if they're fully unrelated, if there's anything, well, that may lead to the end of at least my torches, this... I don't want to err on the dramatic here, or seeing that I'm overplaying things, but this really is putting me at my wit's end. Do you think I should take it to the priest? When he returns from the Stump Festival, do you think I should seek him out? Ask his opinion? I don't want to waste his time, but after sharing this with you and you, well, being so up in arms and so active about it, and seeming interested and engaged yourself, like that there may be something there.
I don't see why not. Another opinion is always a good idea. Someone may think of something we haven't thought of.
Well, then I suppose here in a few weeks' time when Mr. Blumoltel returns, I'll ask him what he thinks of the situation. Tell him what I told you, see if he has any wisdom for me. I know he's been busy tending to, well, a great many things, and I don't want to make a fool of myself, and I didn't want to waste any of his time, but if there may be something to it, I suppose there's no sense in holding back. Thank you, all of you. I truly do look forward to the show you put on. And, well, I'll let you know if anything happens, as I assume that it won't be hard for me to figure out when you're raising your curtains. Is that the saying?
Sure.
It works.
It'll be a pleasant distraction, not just for me, but for all the good sword folk, I think. Well, sleep well then, I suppose, is a proper goodbye saying the situation. And he opens the front door and holds it for the group of you as you head out into the cool evening. Now, some fair time after sundown is... No, it's mid-spring. The chill would be setting in. It's not getting real freezing or super cold or anything, but certainly cooler. That much is certain. And with that, where do you head?
Home?
Yeah, probably home to our camp.
Well, that's loud as heck. I suppose at that point there's not much else to do other than just to head back to your wagons in the market square there, as everything's been getting set up and organized, and be doing evening's rest. And with that, an interesting first day in the books here in Carrick. And you'll awaken the following morning to a perfectly fine sunrise, a perfectly normal morning. And, well, a lot of work to be done if you're going to be getting into setting up a show anytime soon. Particularly when it comes to advertisements. So as the sun rises for your first morning in the Carrick Grange, is that a thing you want to do? Are we setting it?
That's right. We are.
It's time for us to organize yet another show. We came to Swordlands to put on a good performance, and by the gods, we're gonna do it. So, with a date set, it's Toil Day the 12th. He'll be setting on the following Moon Day. And how were we going about the advertising? First of all, do you wish to purchase any ads?
First of all, the first thing I'll do in the following day is to hire a bunch of couriers. Couriers?
I'm actually not entirely positive which is technically correct there. Hire a bunch of couriers to take the word out to outlying settlements, out to the farms around the greater Carrick area.
Yep, and with the poster that I've got for it.
Ooh. So you take your fancy poster. I think that would solidly fall under purchasing advertisements if that's something you wish to do. We can just very loud cowbell rolling by the market square. I love it, honestly. I could make sure there were never any weird loud sirenscape effects, but I'm honestly a huge fan of it, because you are just sitting in the middle of a pretty large city and like, well, that crap's gonna happen while you're discussing what's going on, and it's funny every time. I'm still amused by it anyway. So how much are you wanting to put forth for advertisements here?
Well, that depends entirely if I can find the specific rules.
I did not go through and reorganize the journal quite yet. Unfortunately, I am a huge failure and haven't done that. But basically, you can buy up to about 9 anticipation if you wanted to go big. And the cost per anticipation point you're generating increases pretty exponentially as you go. You could buy, I think last time you did the 6 anticipation for 40 gold. I'm not sure how much money the circus has after the previous profits. 6 for 40, 4 for 20, or 9 for 80 are probably the 3 you'd be interested in.
Well, we'll do 6 for 40, and we'll also get waterproof tickets.
Fantastic. Watermarked tickets.
Waterproof tickets?
Those are important too.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the Curse of Sadness.
We're
we
getting
are.
scalped again, boys. Not this time.
Both the water and the tears of the people sailing.
With the money paid, 40 gold out of the circus coffers, to send word to all the outlying farms out around, even as far as down the road up to Matt and Cleve, who would make a reasonable journey to visit this within a week's time, for a lot of the various transporters that are going to be moving down this way anyway. And how much are watermark tickets?
That's a good question.
Let me scroll frantically. It is down here. They are 50 gold.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
this
kind of
would be-
complicated to do that with given Galarian's technology.
Galarian sucks.
Getting waterfit tickets, watermark tickets, waterfit tickets. I screwed it up even worse. Getting waterboard
suck.
tickets prepared is
Waterboard tickets.
is gonna require some exquisite contracts with local calligraphers or a local press to make sure this can all be done in a way that is near impossible to reproduce. And I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty pricey. It's pretty chunky.
All right, yeah, it ain't worth yet, I think.
Probably not. You
No,
lost like
let's
5
just-
gold from the scalpers. You gotta pay
Yeah,
like
let-
50 to get here. That's
Let's just have 39 circus gold after we spend it.
you got some leftover
Save up. I like
cool
it.
stuff. The water flame tickets can wait for another day.
Water flame tickets.
You buy your advertisements, and you get ready to do what you do best. Not only personally hype up your shows throughout Carrick over the next week, but also put on a goddamn performance. We'll get that all organized here in a few minutes. Chat, we are going to take our midstream break here, is what we're going to do. And when we return, we're going to get our advertisements, we're going to get our show, and we're going to bring the Circus of Wayward Wonders to all the good folk of Carrick for our opening nights on the Isle of Kortos. We're honestly typically pretty decent at these. But we haven't
I
had
think
a
we're great.
we haven't slammed it out of the park with a beautiful critical success since our opening night in Aberton.
No, it's
Can
because we're
that-
too good.
It's because we're too good. We're too good to critically succeed. That's exactly why critically succeeding is how it is. But perhaps we managed to make all the dice fall correctly this time. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, everyone. Don't go too far. I'll give you some highlights while we're gone. When we return, circus time! BRB. So as we all return, we have begun preparations for a whole new circus. I mean, that is predominantly the reason, of course, we came to the Smartlands. We're a traveling circus doing traveling circus things. And with a week before our curtain, it means we have a week to prepare, to promote, to generate as much anticipation as we can. And this first couple days, how are we organizing our promotions? Who's doing what?
Well, for once, I don't have a trick I'm working on, which is weird.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So reminder, people, like, you can go in pairs, and someone can assist the other person. Being good at society and being very charismatic are both very beneficial for leading an advertisement campaign, trying to get a bunch of people to sign up to come spend money to see your stuff. So who wants to go advertise?
I would like to go advertise.
Alright, totters off to go advertise.
Anyone want to go with Selwyn or Ara?
Well, I could always throw Aura up into the air and see how high I could get him, and he could, be as visible as possible in the air.
Squad, Leshy, squad, I dig it.
Let's do it. I thought you was about to say someone.
Why society?
It's harder to throw Selwyn as she's a tad heavier. No offense or anything.
No, that's fine. He raised like 1 pound.
How about you, Zerg and Arbus?
Yeah, you know what? Zerg is gonna go back to camp, right, and get Asha to come for a walk to advertise together. Orc squad.
Orc squad. Asha's absolutely on board with this. In fact, I would debate that she has literally never been so on board with anything in her life. 10,000% ready, seeing or hoping at least that you, rather, have seen the true potential of the Orc Strongman Dude team. We will gladly come with you. Do you want me to ride Mammoth? It's more visible, large, draws crowds and attention.
Yes,
Does not
all right,
fit down
too.
all roads, though.
You should.
Stick to main roads anyway. More eyes on us.
This
You
is
should have
plan.
like Zerg at the bottom, then Asha, and then the Mammoth.
I do not know if Piers can support Gigi. She unloaded fine, but I was skeptical. The wood looks weak and frail, though they roll large carts over it.
Yes.
I was amazed that Gangplank did not snap in two when she was unloaded yesterday.
I'm sorry, I just imagined a mammoth plunging into, into
Oh,
water.
goodness.
through a
Just walking down the
broken
dock and just gone.
plank. Asha's like ahead of Gigi and turns back. Where'd he go?
Where is Gigi? Who took her? Giant hole in the pier. Arbus,
Yes,
you
we
want
go
to
to town.
go help Selwyn? Perhaps Selwyn's alone.
I am also alone, so I will go with Selwyn. I will always go with Selwyn.
All right, so we got 3 advertising pairs. These first 2 days here. As you go out, Selwyn, start with the ringmaster, the head of the show. Make me
That's
a
right.
society check.
Come on, call. It's the greatest
nine
show
now.
this world has ever seen.
That's the DC. Okay.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Dude.
All right.
God.
It's for that pun earlier.
Well, I
I
guess.
don't know. You clearly have pissed off God. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what you did.
Well, I'll spend another hero point, I suppose.
Have you considered not? I don't know. Did you like light a church on fire again? I know you did that in Pathfinder previously, but like, did you
That
do it
wasn't
in?
me. Wait, that's me.
That was definitely you, Crispy Hands.
To be fair, there was just fucking face spiders. It wasn't my fault.
Oh
Fucking
no!
What is this?
Dear Lord.
I've had 3 1s, a 5, a 4, and a 15. What's going on? Hello?
I said, hey. What's going on?
Going on?
Let me do it. I might
Selwyn and Arbus. She's taking the lead, Arbus. Your assistance notwithstanding.
I don't
Selwyn
think it matters.
just has like no ability here to draw a crowd. It just you seem almost drowned out just by the sheer size of Carrick's port, and that it's occupied almost exclusively by people with work to do.
That
the
doesn't make
port-
sense. I have a microphone staff.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's just irritating. Like a lot of the shipwrights here, they can't opt out of hearing your giant microphone staff that covers the entirety of Carrick's ports. They can't say no to this. And you don't feel like you I mean, you got the word is around, but is it gonna help sell tickets? It doesn't really feel like it.
I'm gonna
Well-
fucking cry.
Leshy team, who's taking the lead on this?
Who has
Where
the
are
highest
you?
society?
Who do you think is
Well,
better in
I'm-
society?
I'll have you know, many people like me. I have it on, good information that I'm a very likable guy.
I'm gonna take the lead.
Okay, so I'm going to be throwing Ara up, and he's just going to float around and try and get as much attention as he can, I guess, while he's floating.
And the add amazement to this, I actually have. I can show you. I got Leshy Glide.
Ooh, Leshy
Oh, yeah,
Glide.
that's exactly what I was looking for.
So you can
Can I
actually
assist?
just
Float around.
fall. All right, yeah, you can assist. Yeah, if you want to roll yours, so we should probably roll the assist first.
Okay. I was not very good. Well,
Well,
I'm doing good.
he's giving you the
trying to throw
visibility, but
you.
he's not doing anything personally, Ara. It's all up to you.
Maybe Varpir should have took the lead.
No, very good. I'm impressed.
And while you're out doing your acts as well, you toss in the air, gliding around, you hear the booming voice of Selwyn coming across to her ringmaster's staff, echoing throughout all of Carrick. And at 25, it seems like, well, Carrick's a rough crowd. The general attitude over the ports is one of just kind of work and business, and further inland is, well, the folk are friendly, but don't seem terribly interested in a circus. That's also going to fail. Zerg, the time has come for you, once again, to carry the entire circus on your shoulders. Zerg, goddamn Batsky, champion of advertisements. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You and Asha.
We're parading down the biggest, most busy street we can find on the back of Gigi. With Asha riding at the front, Zerg up the back, trying to sort of gather a crowd like, yes, you've never seen this before. It's very exciting, yes. Trying to sort of be like, isn't this weird? There's two orcs riding a fucking mammoth.
I would take notice. I would notice.
That definitely
I would
seems
think it's
weird.
pretty exciting.
That's it. Yeah. Give me a society check.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna session reroll that, perhaps.
That's fucking brave.
Wah.
At least, you know, at least it's not just me.
So the three of you, the three different groups rather, as you go through the town of Carrick, they're not just Wheel Day, but the Oath Day that follows. I mean, you definitely make more people aware of the circus. Like, it doesn't do nothing. It doesn't. Your anticipation is increased because, like, I mean, a wise man once said, "All press is good press."
Wise man's an asshole.
They really just do not seem interested. Beyond that, with your society checks, your initial beliefs is that the port obviously is by far the busiest part of Carrick. It's where you're going to get the most success. But it's not really till after what feel good but seemingly ineffective days of advertising that it kind of dawns on you that, like, the port's really busy, yeah. But this isn't like Escadar so much. This port is much larger. It's not a bunch of warehouse workers and cargo shipwrights and, just general shipwrights and dockmasters that stay here. There are some, but the vast majority of these people are, well, they're not going to be here when your circus happens. And if they are, don't seem to be interested in spending what precious little shore leave they had coming to view a circus that they literally cannot stop hearing in their ears no matter where they go.
All right.
Perhaps, as the group of you regroup back at your camp, returning back to your cleared market square where you're going to be performing, maybe some replanning is in order, because none of you have found very much success so far. So
Yeah,
all of
well-
you reconvene at your circus grounds at the market after 2 kind of depressingly unsuccessful days of attempting to advertise and finding more, well, resistance and less excitement than you've ever experienced.
Well, I think maybe we should change our tactic and maybe try and go for the children. There seems to be quite a few children around, and if we can get them interested, or maybe through less great feats and maybe some cute, wide-eyed, wandering, toddling around like you normally do.
I don't like the way you phrased any of that.
No, just a little. I have idea for us though, Selwyn, but
Me too, actually. And we're doubling the fuck down.
okay. We combined the force idea.
Okay, so... Okay, you first.
Okay, my idea. Okay, you You're a little smaller, but you have big voice, so everyone is ignoring you. They don't have reason to look in your direction. I was thinking I give them something to look at, and then they listen to you.
Okay, that's pretty in line with what I was thinking. I was thinking you turn into a massive fucking wolf. I stand on top of you, rewrite up and down those goddamn ducks while I'm screaming at those stupid peasants about our great show. And if we don't listen, we trample a couple.
That is pretty much what I was thinking, aside from the trampling of the people. But
Trampling's the best part.
I mean, I'm going to be. I've never gone this large before, but it will be. I think it will work.
At this point, you would hear the crunch of some heavy boots in the dirt around the campground here, with a group of you together, kind of strategizing with each other and a couple of other performers. As another woman walks around a wagon and into the area. She's got an iron helmet perched on her head, with a chainmail draping down below and a breastplate underneath that, a long sword at her hip, and some kind of a symbol visible on a badge hanging from her pauldron. She approaches and looks over the group here, kind of raises a leather-gloved hand. Evening. Which of you here is running things around?
I'll timidly raise a hand. Well, as much as anyone can.
That's a impressive operation you got going here.
Okay, go on.
I guess we'll cut straight to the point then. Sergeant sent me down here from the town guard. I've been told to, ask you to stop using whatever magic it is that's forcing one of your voices into the heads of every man, woman, and child within a few hundred yards.
Well, it's not forcing it into the heads, it's just amplifying my own. It's just making me louder.
Right, but we've received damn near non-stop complaints about the last couple of days. People seem to be near on the edge of madness. Admittedly, a lot of older folk. I haven't seen a whole lot of problem with it myself, but could you lessen that? Do you have any control over it, or is there some way that where you could keep it a little more contained, I suppose?
I'll touch the wand. Can I? Can I control it?
Look, I don't know much about how magic works or any of that, but from what I'm understanding, some of these folk go home, tying pillows around their ears, squirreled away, all the doors closed, and they're still. It's like you're shouting right next to them. It's a bit much, is all.
Okay, but there's no limit if I'm not using the staff.
Well, sure, of course. You're free to hawk as much as you please around the piers of the town. Like you're more than welcome. I understand that the Mr. Greygut and the Grange are supporting your circus rather directly. I'm just asking you to stop using that magical amplifier, or whatever it may be.
All right. God fucking damn it.
That's yep. That's. If we've an understanding there, then pleasant evening to y'all, and well, I hope your show goes well.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And look, where she turns and makes her way back out of the camp.
Fucking bitch.
What cell did you say?
Nothing.
She was a very nice lady. I thought she was very. You don't need your loudness. We have plan.
I'm nothing without my loudness.
I think Selwyn's plenty loud without the mic.
So with
Everyone's a
that,
betrayer.
there's still 5 days before the curtain. Still plenty of time to advertise and turn this around. Now, who wants to attempt first as we move into the weekend?
Let's get a couple more ones in there.
Up through Star Day. Well, let's go with Artemis first and see what the assist is before we get to the final results. We'll see if Artemis is helping you.
Okay.
So what are you going with this giant wolf plan?
So, not. What's the exact word? Just so I have it here. The exact
Trampled.
word is huge wolf.
Which is a wolf, yes.
Pretty fucking large. So, all right, we're gonna get there, and I'm just gonna get down, and I'm gonna start to like howl. But my howl is gonna turn into the wolf howl, and as I'm just gonna turn into a massive wolf, massive, huge, as big as I've ever gone.
Because it is
All
like
black with blue fur.
it's like a 20-foot at the shoulder wolf. Like this thing is the size of the mammoth.
I'm gonna
The
catch some
mammoth
eyes.
is huge.
Yeah, the mammoth is bigger than me, but same concept.
No, the mammoth
okay.
is huge. If you're a huge wolf, like that's how big you get.
Holy shit.
A mammoth is huge.
You're a mammoth-sized wolf.
Yeah, I am a mammoth-sized wolf. Huge. Yeah,
You
huge
are
is my battle for it.
gigantic.
I told Selwyn beforehand I can't do it for very long, so you gotta be quick. I'm gonna do that. Roll what society is it? Is there help?
Society to assist, yes.
Oh boy.
I can't just be performance.
Eh,
Because the goal is not the goal is to generate as much interest as possible through like effective advertising more than like because you can go like do cartwheels in the center square and like that'll get whoever happens to be walking by, but it's about more than that. It's about getting as much attention and as much hype generated as possible, which is less on what you can actually do and more on your again ability to advertise.
It
I
just
can tell
is
you-
odd to me that it's based on intelligence and not charisma.
It's both because the output you get is based on charisma.
if I
Doesn't make
use a session reroll, can I throw a guidance on it?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, let's do that. Session reroll plus a guidance I have. Much better. There we
Yeah,
go. That's what I
excellent.
was looking for.
Right?
So, the giant wolf is. Actually, this is a unique aid. The giant wolf is. Well, terrifying. Perhaps running off some crowds that may otherwise have been more receptive to Selwyn's message. So, you're going to have a -1 circumstance bonus.
However,
So-
I'll use a guidance to cancel it
So,
out.
it's even.
All right.
Give us a banger.
Do we know one?
It can't be. It's not
Oh,
possible.
that's better.
Is it a level DC?
It's a level DC.
Oh god.
Okay. Well, that is unlucky.
So you do
That's
largely
the-
know what you're shooting for. Like, I mean, I would say with advertising, you're generally relatively understanding of whether you're being effective or not.
Oh nay! Without
So
our
close.
business intervention.
So close.
How many hero points do I have?
I have you at 3.
All right. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Oh, that's what we're talking about there.
There it is.
Flip that
worth.
over.
Worth.
Oh, the hero points have seen you through. Well,
Finally.
that time specifically. With a natural 20, regardless of Aramis, making this admittedly possibly more difficult than it should be. Without the microphone, you seem to be a lot. You have a lot more effect here. You're able to work through the ports and through the inner area, through the markets, getting the word out a lot more. Not so much by just simply performing, is rather almost realizing that there's so much more that you can do there. Putting your brain to work more than your act. And what is your charisma modifier, comrade?
That is a 4.
Oh, 4. You're gonna generate. So currently, after everything you've done, all of your efforts so far, advertisements and all, you have 8 anticipation.
Yo.
And with that, you have 34.
Nice.
That's a lot better.
Today was a good day. Dear diary, today was a good day. All right, Team Leshy team.
Team Leshy, Team Leshy.
Ain't upstage.
So I'm gonna weave, kind of similar way that I weave traps for people as I grab them. I'm gonna weave teeny tiny little ones, and they're gonna make a very very small kind of delicate, little like flower kind of sundial, or whatever they're called. What are those little fan things called?
Pinwheels?
Pinwheels?
Pinwheels, that's what they're called, yes. But small enough that I can weave them with my branches without losing all of my body mass. So
Oh,
like
flying
really
away.
tiny. Yeah. Really, really tiny, and I'll give them to pass them out and give them to Ara to like go toddle around and pass out to kids.
Okay. That's pretty good. Roll me your assist. That's solid. Society me, oh wise tree.
Well, I'm gonna try that again with a hero point and a guidance. Because
unbelievable.
clearly it's because I forgot guidance.
I
here.
mean, if there's a session to roll dice this consistently horrible, I suppose this is probably among the best
This
ones
might
that
be
could
the
happen.
lowest.
This
Look at
might be
that.
the lowest average D20 the party's ever had.
Okay, I'm gonna try this again. With a 23.
23,
24.
you will succeed. So there's a special aid that does give +2 on a success. So Ara, you are with these fancy pinwheels you got here. TNT DMD in the chat. 3 hero points to Zindern because he needs them.
I do.
He does.
The
And
absolute pity.
absolute
Oh.
pity.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. But he's not wrong, though. You do seem to
I'm
need this
sorry for
pretty
being
desperately.
alive.
Struggling.
All right, Ari, you
I'm
got a
gonna-
+2 circumstance, and go ahead. Tell me what you
I'm going to use my guidance as well.
Ooh, +3 then.
This is worth it, right?
Oh, we know what's gonna happen here.
Believe.
I don't believe.
Yep.
I said reroll that.
That session or hero point? You have your sessions, though, right?
Session.
Oh, I still had my session reroll.
I'll put you back
Yeah,
up.
but you never use yours.
Oh my god. How is this possible?
What is happening? Dude! I don't understand!
I'm very upset. Yep. Anyways,
Session over.
Leshy T, yeah, just like, maybe, at what point do you mercy kill a Pathfinder session? Zerg Batsky, my guy.
This
Someone
is
has
me,
been
yes.
finding more success going into the weekend with this Fire Day and Star Day, having great advances in promoting the circus. But it's been her and her alone. Zerg, she needs help. She needs assistance.
Asha on the ground. Gigi on Asha. Zerg on Gigi with a fucking megaphone equivalent.
Rolled
Nice.
up newspaper.
Yeah,
There's
that'll
still their
do.
gimmick.
Standing like proudly on top of this mammoth who is on top of Asha. Witness the strongest orcs alive! Come one and all to our show. Is going to be fantastic. Come on, see this crazy show that we're doing. It's very good and entertaining and worth your money. So come give us your money and watch the cool things.
I feel like that's about accurate for your society modifier. All right, roll me. Roll me a check. Come on, Mono.
He has to
Go
roll
me
15.
potato salad.
Of course he's immune.
It's not a critical failure.
It's not a
No.
critical failure. God, I want to give it to him for the spirit. But
Okay, so here's the
It's-
thing, right? Even if I roll a natural 20,
Oh, Reginald's trying to succeed. It's just
natural
not-
20, you will succeed. You won't critically
Oh.
succeed, but you will succeed.
Okay.
Because
But it's got to be a 20.
it has to be a 20, though.
okay, hero point.
Oh no! It happened! It happened!
Well, that's the first part of a 20. You just need a 0 after that.
So if I don't roll, I got it, right?
I mean, no, but
No,
Shut your fucking mouth. It's two.
I want to believe it too, man.
I want to believe.
I will
Can
not
It's the
Asha have a
ghost.
roll?
It's the ghost. You're haunted. The haunting
They're
of
haunted.
Gregan has come to the circus of
Fucking
Wayward
ghosts.
Wonders.
Can Asha roll and help?
We need
Can Gigi have a roll?
You need an exorcism.
we need a wizard here. We need Dr. Grange.
Oh
Well-
my god, I actually like that one.
The group of you reconvening Star Day evening after an evening meal. as the sun's setting, and you're all sitting around the campfire. Well,
Don't say a goddamn word.
I can't help but feel that this town is far less receptive than I'd hoped it would be. The mood is so dour.
And my mood is so sour.
I've count on the fingers of one hand the amount of smiling townsfolk I've seen since we've been here. It almost seems a miserable place. I admittedly don't know too much of Carrick, but this seems almost, well, extreme is the word I suppose I would use.
It sounds to me like they are in desperate need of a circus.
Well, perhaps it'll subvert our expectations then. Even though it doesn't look promising so far. Maybe when the time comes for curtains, the folk of Carrick will come from around and, well, I can have a great opening night, but, well,
Well, all we can do is keep trying. Yay, go team.
we still have a few days. The week's not out yet. If we're putting our performance on Toil Day, then, well, we've the rest of the weekend at the very least. Well, worst case scenario, I suppose we have a less than stellar opening night, but, well, the Sward is it's a large area, and perhaps the other towns will be more receptive. Nothing left to do but to stick with it, I suppose.
Anywho, Wolf, great idea, but I think I'll just take the last one on my own.
That's probably for the best. I think I pulled a muscle in my spine.
Your voice
Barkbeard,
of-
that was a good idea, Barkbeard, but I think I messed that one up.
Well, I think we just could only see so many people, and we ran out of twigs because I was about to die. I don't know what we should do, though. What do you think? You have any good ideas?
Just let's do the thing we did first, and this time I'll cast the magic at the peak of my jump, at the height of the jump.
This is a good idea. Once you start casting, I'll throw you up. That'll give you enough time to finish the spell once you get to the top.
Blue comes in, sits down while you guys are discussing. Kind of plopping. Well. I don't think I've seen such a large group of sour faces since I was still with the menagerie. Which admittedly weren't that long ago, but I have to imagine it's much more difficult to physically and mentally torment a town of this size. Oh, it's got the bees in their britches.
Probably that, Connie.
True, bees do really enjoy the honey.
Someday I'm gonna get it through my head that any kind of metaphor or turns of phrase are just kind of lost on you lot. Nothing against that, of course. It's just, well, you'd think that I'd stop trying. But somehow
No,
your interpretation always puts at least some bit of a smile on my face. Well, hey. Sighs and sighs around. I get that. But I got some wise words from a passing Serenite coming through the menagerie once upon a time. It told me, the dawn still comes. It was. And with it comes new light. Never been much of a religious man myself, but they're not wrong words. Spoken true. Doesn't get worse from here, at least. Worst they can do is not like us.
We're used to that.
And so,
All right.
as you wrap up your evening and finish for now, the market square has started to come together. Your big top, its massive poles have been set up. Most of the pillars, supports, and stakes laying out where they'll need to be. All of your help, your hired local hands, the professor's been arranging, ready to throw up the great canvas and the stripes itself, with the work tomorrow to close out the weekend and put the big top properly together. Maybe having something big, real obvious, eye-catching, even from the ships sailing into the harbor, is what you need to really get the attention and get the essence of what you're actually doing here, out amongst the party. But still a few days to advertise left, right? And as the sun sets and the day ends, Selwyn, how are you handling this fair evening?
Oh, it's great. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna get ready.
Canoe wagon, faceplant, try not to cry a lot.
Yep. Well, no, I did well. I did
You did
great.
great.
Yeah.
You did great.
I just have a circus of failures.
What a time to be a circus of idiots.
Wow.
Who would have thought society?
How about you, Arbus?
I'm just gonna kind of go and get some alone time out in a tree somewhere and probably nod off and spend the night in the tree sleeping. If it's a pleasant enough night.
Because it's the thing that you do.
Yeah.
You just sleep in the wilderness.
Yep.
Fair. Can't blame you for it. Barkbeard?
I am going to probably just hang around, kind of talk with the other guys at the circus, since I haven't really been around much. So I'm just going to catch up with people and see how everybody's doing.
And, Zerg, how's your night?
Uneventful. Feeling a little bit upset that no one cared about my big display. But
Well,
uneventful.
people cared. It's just only people that were physically there to see it. Which in the grand scheme of the size
I
of
saw their
characters-
faces. You cannot lie to me. I see what what it looks like when people don't care. I get it.
You just
You can
sit
soften the blow, but I get it.
and are sad. Ara?
Ara's just gonna spend the evening wandering around the town, thinking hard.
The Leshies need sleep.
They're
These-
plants. I'm guessing they just need 8 hours of some sort of rest.
That's fair.
Nothing meat. Nothing. Yeah.
So, as you totter around here so late at night, Ara, just kind of wandering around. I mean, you don't need to be super rested until the showtime comes. It's not like you've been having a whole lot of terrible success anyway. Why don't you make me a perception check?
Uh-oh.
Boy. This die.
I like rolling dice.
I do too. That was a 22.
I no longer like rolling dice.
So as you walk around the town, looking through as the night has fallen, you can hear the ever-present symphony of crickets all around you, and you can see, even through the night, the port never really truly sleeps. Lanterns are lit. Large, almost like hanging bowls of coals and fire are set all around the ports and the docks to illuminate the area. Much worse than the sun would do, of course, but allowing work to continue. Ships are still being loaded and unloaded. Late arrivals or preparations for morning departures, and cargo is constantly being moved throughout the warehouse. And though the farms largely fall silent around the outskirts of the city, save for the sounds of nature, the innards of Carrick are working 24 hours a day. You return back to the camp. I imagine around the time of the morning when everyone will be getting up and getting ready to do some things. So you can go back and meet with the rest of your party. And as the as all of you awaken, and Aura returns, you can see with the morning light, there has been an addition to your campground. It's painted in bright red letters across the side of the ringmaster's wagon, Thunder's old wagon, and just a huge sloppy hand drips running down, bright, bold, and red. Go home, freaks. Through your morning's preparations and investigation, as everyone kind of starts the day in a relatively sour mood, you would also discover some of the planks had been pried around near the front of the wagon where the circus's coffers are kept, and your circus wealth is reduced by about 10 gold.
Oh,
That's fucked up. I feel like there's something wrong here. I mean, obviously we're gonna kill the intruders because they stole our gold.
we can't just kill people because they steal.
Absolutely, it's called stand your ground.
I fear I was mistaken, and that it can in fact get worse.
Yes.
Did we do something wrong?
To these people or in general?
Well, I can't help but wonder if the culture is so terribly different here that in some way our setup is, I don't know, offensive or something, because this, well, it's not unheard of, I suppose. But, well, it seems ridiculous. Just gesturing to the message on the side of the wagon.
I agree. Go home where?
We're
It's
already
like they
home.
don't understand the core concept of a traveling circus.
Right.
Well,
Well,
I guess we can continue doing as we can do. We've still a few days to advertise, and, well, best of luck, I suppose. Get some of the hired hands on scrubbing this off as well as we can, and, well, hopefully the underlying paint from Thunder's days won't be too damaged or worse for wear. Could they have painted literally any other wagon?
probably.
I can try to fix it when we get back, but for now, advertising.
Speaking of, I'm gonna write a quick note and put it with the treasurer.
Oh, I can do that here. Dear thief, if I catch you, you're fucking dead. Sincerely, so.
I
I mean, they clearly did not take everything. It looks like they just.
That doesn't matter. It took
yeah.
more than zero.
Right. But as you look it over, it's in a locked little compartment on the front of the wagon where your kind of secured case is kept. It looks like they didn't pick the lock so much as they literally just crowbarred the boards open and wrenched their way in, grabbed a handful of cash and scattered.
It's rude either way.
I'm gonna stand up.
Any footprints, claw prints,
that's
slithers, drag marks,
Well, there are a great
tracks.
many footprints around your setup here, but if you want to spend your day investigating this rather than advertising, you certainly can.
Sir, would you like to investigate this while I go out and help our Aura?
I could help Zerg. I'm not the best with the advertising, but I can track. This is what I'm good at. You go. You advertise. Be
You
Mr. Basket.
advertise Arabic track and I crush whatever we find. Good.
Yeah, and keep in mind, just keep the good watch, I guess.
Well, yeah.
All right. So you two instead are going to be hunting for some thieves to pound into another dimension of existence. Whereas Selwyn and Arbus are gonna head back into town to continue advertising, and Ara's gonna
Just sell them.
just sell it.
Before I go, I'm gonna get as close to placing a hand on Circle as I can, maybe hopping up on a wagon to do so. Say, sir, if you catch whoever took our money, you have my permission to break every bone in their body.
Good.
So, Selwyn,
Anyway.
I guess. We'll start with you and Ara, your advertisements. You're alone this time, no giant wolf to weigh you down, and you still have a few days left to try to advertise to your best. You found some success. You've raised some hopes. Now alone, this is your last moment. This is your final opportunity.
And I would like to guidance myself.
Let's say a quick prayer.
Say a quick
Two.
prayer.
Maybe Rambo Dazzle, probably the god
Maybe
of circuses.
please let me high roll for once.
You
What have I
just-
done to be cursed like this? What's with the wands, Nibby?
Someone
What I
literally worships the dice god, so like, I mean, I feel like to some extent you brought this upon yourself.
Probably.
Sweet baby Jesus.
No, that was almost the 20. Well, same second verse, same as the first. Reroll and see if my heart will burst. Yay! We did
A
it.
solid success.
Woo.
Certainly not the critical success you'd had previously, but with your decent charisma and your actions, you're gonna bring the show's anticipation up to 47 before the opening curtain. Solid progress for being the only person making it. Ara, how about you?
Is Barkbeard with me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So?
my other bets. Arbus and Zerg are investigating town, and Barkbeard and Ara who are still leshying.
Yes.
In Leshy.
It's hard
So
to break the
I'll
bond
try
between
and
us.
assist again and see if I can't get some help. So with a thingy majigger, whatever they're
Guidance.
called. Guidance is going to be super guided. As
Oh
a
my.
2.
Another 2.
Oh, does that critically fail? No.
Probably.
AIDS or DC 20? AIDS are flat.
Okay, so it doesn't critically fail, so good luck, sir. I wish you the best.
Never has the dice god so directly fucking smited adventure.
Wait,
I
has
feel
Barker
like we
still not-
swing so hard on this show.
Has
It's
Barker
either
still
we're-
not used session reroll?
That was Barkbeard's session. Oh, you
Oh,
saw you
right, sorry.
used it last turn. I gave him the hero point back.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What the fuck?
Also, I didn't use mine. I had my hope.
Fellow Americans. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Here, bro.
There's
You
a
gotta laugh.
t-shirt. There's your next
Point.
t-shirt. What the fuck?
Hero point.
Question, whatever.
There we go.
Yeah! That's
Right.
what we like to do. Sheer
All right.
attrition. We're gonna beat the 20s out of this shit yet. Oh. Oh my.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
What the
Beautiful. What's your charisma? I assume is also 4, Sorcerer,
Yeah, it's 4.
which means that from 43 on the eve of the circus show, our Lulu Ara has found the magic fucking ingredient for advertisement. You
Who thought
also
it's fire.
You also find something interesting. A decent number of people around near the morning as your tent was starting to go up who seemed to be interested, that's in your previous advertisement with this first day you're advertising, see the painting on the side of the wagons. And nobody thinks it's funny, really. The town's actually pretty upset about it. And even through the next 2 days, you hear again and again and get the general sense that everyone's pretty pissed off that this happened. That this traveling circus came to Carrick, and then this is, well, what's happening to them there. The power of the pity vote is a strong thing, and it may be what looked like a somber start to a depressing advertising end of the advertising campaign was actually a great boon, as you are going to carry up to 73 starting anticipation for the show that's about to take place. These are the biggest boots we've had to fill. I wasn't catching it first, but these last few days, oh baby, Carrick's ready. Now, Arbus and Zerg, you're after something a little bit different here.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't the two of you, one can aid the other. Who, I don't know who wants to take the lead, but I'm gonna need a survival check from you.
Yeah, I'm the tracker. He can try to help me.
Zerg, do you want to assist her? And you can
I
assist
will.
this either with your own survival. Yeah, probably just with your own survival, honestly.
Oh,
With the assist.
Spicy, critically successful assist. What's your proficiency in survival?
mine?
No, Zerg's.
Trained.
Okay, so you'll give Arbus a +2 with that critical success then. +2 circumstance bonus to your check. And a reminder that you can shift click anything in your sheet to just add an on-the-fly modifier.
Huh.
To just that
Does that mean
next roll.
try it? Let's see. Circumstance +2. 2. Add. And how do I roll it? Roll the
Click.
Bottom.
public roll.
Bottom right, buddy.
Oh, you gotta scroll down, guys. Just so you know, there's a scroll button. There it is.
Oh, baby!
That's a 40 on the survival check.
Fucking 40. Okay. You
Where
are
do they live? Social
Arbus
security numbers.
Bloodhound. Looking around, you can see some pretty clear splotches on the ground on the side of your wheel where they quickly whacked the paint off of the brush and they were done painting just by, rubbing it on the side of the wagon wheel on Thunder's own wagon. And this first day, as you look around, the trail's still pretty fresh. Though it's had a night to rest, most of the dirt ground here shows, well, a literal trail of occasional bright red driplets. That leads you at least out of the ground, out of the circus marketplace here where you're set up, and around into the town, where it gets a little more difficult. It appears to be a group of footprints. It doesn't look like a single person did this. It looks like there was a small group that had come together. And by the time you leave the dirt of the area where it's more traveled roads, or where it's more traveled roads, the paint's not going to help you anymore. The tracks become difficult to follow. That said, they were pretty sloppy. And it takes you much of a day of searching. Every step of this trail is decently well spaced from the other. But you find the occasional little bits of red smears on a fence post. Or on a a large rock on the side of the road. Until eventually, you find one on a door frame. Further into town that looks like it's pretty fresh. It looks like it's part of this. Oddly enough, whoever did this seems like they touched damn near everything they walked past on the way back with red paint on their hands. And with your great success here, this is a trail the two of you can easily follow. It leads you down to the Port Authority, the inn that you'd initially seen when you first arrived in Carrick. The large dockside tavern, a couple floors, and inside.
Oh, the bar.
Well, it's a bar and an inn, yeah.
Oh God. I finished my tracking. I'm looking. I know this is the spot. Look over at Zerg. They would be in there, Mr. Batsky. How do we go ask
Good, I'm
for our
thirsty. Let's go.
I could use a drink. This thing.
It's non-alcoholic for you. I remember last time.
Okay.
So as you head in to the inn here, it's pretty large and services a wide range of various sailors and overnight clientele. And it is largely gauged to only provide boarding for a day or a few days. It's not meant to be like a really much of a long-term stay thing. Carrick also, in addition to servicing the large port, is where pretty much all of the Swordlands brings their harvest to be sold and shipped. So, in addition to the people coming in by sea, staying a night or two and heading back out, there are the farmers making the long journey down to Carrick to deliver their wares, staying here a night or two before heading back home. So it's very mixed between two very clear, starkly different groups of sailors and inland farmers. But the farmers of the Swordlands largely are relatively well off. They're not like your super peasant hicks or anything. It's a very productive area here. Once you arrive inside, give me a perception check. One or either of you.
I don't know where it is on my thingy. That's an initiative roll, but it's for perception. Is that how that works? Oh, well,
There
it
should
doesn't
also
fucking
just
matter
be
anyway.
it should be perception somewhere else as well, but I'm going to be
Oh, it's like
completely honest.
right. It's like 2 above initiative. I see it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Bang.
So we do 28 Arbus. Zerg would sit down and be thirsty. Arbus would come in. Are you going in, or are you just kind of staying near the door here?
Oh no, I'm going in with him. Yeah.
Yeah, as you head in, looking around, you can see that while it does have a bar, it also seems to serve a decent amount of food and more, well, standard fare. And additionally, there are a surprising amount of younger people in here, all the way from like teenagers down to actual children that have just come down to Carrick with their family, carrying the harvest to be sold and shipped off here in Carrick. Obviously, none of them are at the bar, but I just mean like in the Port Authority as a whole. And you see one girl, Arbus, who looks a bit younger, maybe 14, 15 years old, maybe even a little bit younger, who's done up pretty plainly. A white blouse that looks like it's seen some years, thin leather vest over that, and her hair done up in a ponytail on the top of her head. And she's sitting, waiting near the back with two other boys around her age. All of them look like they could be in middle school. But as you come in, she looks towards the door, sees you, and immediately averts her gaze the other direction. Like, overcorrecting to the point where she kind of looks almost just down towards the wall. Find that kind of suspicious as you look at her. Like, she literally puts a hand up next to her, alongside her face, like to hide her face from your view.
Okay.
And then after a moment, both the other boys that are sitting there turn and look towards the door and see you. One of them looks at you, just doesn't make any expression or change or anything, and just looks back. The other one looks at you, looks and sees Zerg coming in with you, and his eyes go wide, and he immediately turns back to his friends.
I kind of like, I don't stare at them. Like, I saw that, I kind of play it off a little bit, and I'm gonna sit down next to Zerg and just sort of sit there and just out of the corner of my eye, just kind of pay attention for a minute, and I'm gonna lean into Zerg after a minute or so. I think it might have been kids that stole from us.
And even
Okay, where are they?
As you lean in to say that, and he asks, the girl immediately, still with her head kind of turned, you see she's let her ponytail out so that her relatively long, kind of scraggly hair hangs down around her face, and head down is very quickly making her way towards the exit. Two boys she was sitting with are slowly standing up. One of them moving to follow after with a shit-eating grin on his face, who looks directly at you, Arbus. The other one looking like he's looking around for someone or something else.
You see those ones that are leaving now, Mr. Bansky?
These ones. Loud.
It's so obvious.
These kids did it. Hey!
Oh no!
And as if you yell at her, she would start running out the building. She would just start running
So
out the
does
building.
Zerg.
Oh shit!
It is no challenge for a 9th level barbarian to run down a 13-year-old girl. So I'm not gonna make you roll anything for that. But as you run after her, and what are you doing? She's trying to run out of
I'm
the
just
street
gonna
here.
like grab by the shirt.
Oh, jeez.
You can grab her by this leather vest she's got on. And
Leather
she
vest?
turns, looks back at you, kind of wild-eyed here. Absolutely nothing like this expression on her face. Not at the moment. And immediately just starts slapping at your wrist completely harmlessly. She is a small girl. And just screaming, help! Help!
Oh, dude, stop. It's fine. It's fine. It's Mr. Basky, lighten up on the grip a little bit. It's child.
I lift her up higher.
Oh, my.
Where are the boys at?
They are, the one that was kind of walking towards you is like standing in the middle of the tavern, just frozen, staring at you wide-eyed, very aware he's fucked. The other one back by the table is just making his way out to, towards the stairs to go upstairs, trying to leave the other direction.
Where are your parents? Where's your mama and papa?
None of your business! What? Get off me! Let go! And at this point, you would have a couple of large sailor folk
Oh.
standing up, kind of surrounding you here. A couple of them reaching down towards belts. Pretty unhappy looks on their faces.
Listen, we don't care about the destruction, whatever. You stole money from us. We just need that back, and then we forget about this whole thing. It's not the problem.
And one of the men coming around steps up, one thumb looped through his belt, the other hand down near his hip, like he's like almost reaching down like a Wild West draw towards his pocket. What's going on here?
Yes, little thing stole money from us. We're just here to get it back. Little street urchin or something. I don't know. I don't understand what is going on here. But are you? Is this yours?
Oh,
No.
Oh, good. Give it back! Give it back!
Mr. Batsky.
As he did, a couple of sailors kind of reach out to like lay hands on Zerg. A couple of outcries here, as she just sort of shrieks as she gets shaken. The other two of the boys that were with her are gone at this point. As he stops shaking her, he's like, Gabriel has it! Gabriel has it! I don't even have the money!
Oh, good. Drop.
She does not land gracefully. They drop her, and she just kind of sits on the ground. She doesn't immediately bolt. She just sort of lays there as she falls, just sort of sprawled out on the wooden floor here.
Who is this who has it? Gabriel has it.
Gabriel. Is that his
Where
name?
is the gay baby?
That's not.
She's like trying not to cry at this point. Well, that sailor kind of steps up and like physically is gonna move to push you, Zerg, back away from her and get kind of in between you here. Which I imagine you can step back. You're gonna kind of just hold him.
Oh no, I'm not moving.
I think I don't know what problem you got here, but this ain't no way to treat a child. Look at her.
His child, I thought, was just very small person, perhaps. It's hard to tell sometimes when you're a big man. Anyway, it stole money from us, and we just have to get it back.
And she's still just kind of sitting there, cowering on the ground, very afraid for her life here.
It's fine. I understand. Listen.
The two boys that were with her come down with another girl and a much older, kind of portly gentleman who seems to be fairly well dressed and about of middle age. The well kept, kind of pointed gray beard, sides mostly shaved, but a bit stubbly going up. A very bright kind of hat with a pointed tip and a feather sticking out of it, perched on his head. Burgeoning kind of vest here. As he comes around, the three other children. Well, I guess youths. They're like, I don't know, is a 13-year-old a child? The children. Children behind him. The one boy still with a massive grin on his face now, looking directly at a Zerg. And he almost waddles up to the group here and looks down. By Abaddon, what the hell is going on here? What is the meaning of this? Get back! Who are you?
Who are you?
I love your purse. Your purse. I can't believe this. And he reaches down to the girl and gets her arm and pulls her back up. Come on, Ash, stand up. And you, what is your name? I'll have to shirt suit off your back.
Zerg Betsky, what is your name? Are you Gebubela?
Yes.
What? Dolfred Barktai. Why? Gods tell witness of Abadar. Are you assaulting my daughter?
Oh, daughter, okay, this is good. Okay, she and friends take money from a circus. We here to get it back. She told me where it is now, so you help me find Gebibble, and we can get out of here without money, yes.
Ridiculous! Ash is a saint. Ash, is this true? He looks down at her, just shakes her head. Oh.
But it's not true. You just said that the Gabriel had
Tell
it.
him the truth. Intimidate roll. Pointing a big
I'm
green
playing games
fucking
anymore.
finger.
She kind of cowers back. Well, I didn't do it. I was. And she just points to one of the boys there. Just immediately, 27 immediately shits her pants and rats him out. It was Gabriel. I told you, he took the money.
You see, your daughter, she okay. She not do it. It's him.
Mm-hmm.
Pay up, little one.
And he looks. And the man kind of looks down. One moment. He
Of
turns
course,
down
no problem.
and puts one hand on each of the boys' shoulders, kind of like kneeling down. He doesn't have to kneel. He's a 13-year-old boy. He's tall enough, but bending over to reach him, looking at the kid's eyes. This is the one that's had the shit-eating grin, which is immediately evaporated. And his eyes are flitting back and forth between Dolphin and Ash, the daughter and the father. He knows he's fucked now. You can see the 13-year-old mind whirring at the speed of light here. Gabriel, did you steal from this man? Wait. Gabriel! We just. And he takes one out of his shoulder and turns the palm up. Give it to me. Give me whatever it is you took. And he's like, and he pulls out 10 silver or 10 gold and 3 silvers and puts them in the man's hand. He looks down and turns and holds the fist out with the money in it towards Zerg.
I'll take that. Thank you very much. I appreciate this muchly. Ash, little girl, I'm sorry for the shaky shakes. Did not know it was not you. You
Hey,
come
Gabriel
to circus. You like
Gabriel
circus?
immediately bursts out. She's the one who opened the thing. She had the crowbar. She's the one who levered it open. I just took the money. And she turns and looks at him. Well, because you had said the Lorms couldn't get the boards off. I didn't want to go in the first place. It was your idea. And
It's fine now. It's all squared away. We don't care. No one got hurt. I just need to
you
return
are
this
very
money.
lucky though, because if you were a little bit older, you would not have bones anymore. I tell you this.
He is very dangerous. This is good that he was calm today. It's a good day for him.
you can say lucky, but Gabriel, you'll be fortunate if when we return to Castelli, your mother leaves a single inch of skin on your arse.
Ooh, bitch.
And Ash. And he turns to another one. Or Valo. Are you part of this? As the other one of the boys who just recently arrived, just kind of very vaguely nods. Lamond? And the other kid who was there at the table in the first place just says his head sunk already. Yes. Gabriel, Lamond. Whatever fate befalls you, you better pray to Abadar, Rostel, Desna, Shell, and every god you can name. Who? Ash, follow upstairs. And he immediately turns and starts walking. And the sailors are kind of backed off at this point. And the other boy immediately starts following him. And Ash kind of stands there for a minute, like still. You see the fear setting in. He hears only one set of feet move, and he turns around. No! And she gets a kick in her step and follows him, and they disappear upstairs. And the two boys are just kind of there, sheepishly staring at their own feet, not looking up at the pair of you.
Yes,
Aware
I remember when I was
a terrible
little
fate awaits them when they return home.
I recall when I was little orc, I used to do all sorts of crazy things, but not steal money. That's just bad. But break bones, break windows is good fun. You bring kids to circus, we give them good show.
And Gabriel looks up. I don't think I'm sorry.
It's okay. You want to come backstage? I show you a big mammoth. It's very scary and cool. I like it.
Very cool, mammoth. Very cool.
And this lady right here, dancing, incredible. You'll love it.
Oh, thank you.
We-
Thank you. You picked me.
No. It's good. It's really good. I like it.
We probably shouldn't leave. I don't want Ash's dad anymore angry.
What do you mean? Anger is. I understand. I did a lot of when I was younger. I had to. It wasn't the greatest upcoming. It's part of growing up. You come out stronger on the other side. It'll be okay.
So the other kid who just kind of arrived just stands the ground. Are you not mad at us?
No, we just
No.
wanted our money back.
Yeah, I'm good.
Even had to be painted on your wagon.
We needed a fresh coat.
I thought it looked okay.
And he just kind of looks and elbows established Gabriel. I don't think we're in trouble. Well, we're both sorry for stealing and painting your wagon, but can you tell Ash's dad that you're not mad at us? Maybe.
Exchange a glance with Arabus. Yeah.
I just
It's fun.
sure.
I'm
I
okay
think
with this.
we could do that. In fact, I can even do one better. I start pulling crap out of my bandolier. Little. Oh, I don't. That's sage. Why do I have sage in that pocket?
You bring sage with you. You don't need to bring sage for this.
I'm the healer. It's part of my.
Well, you didn't need to bring it. We just
I
tracking
just a little bit. Chamomile is in the other one. It's right
Well, you
here.
got chamomile too. You got
And
sage and chamomile.
it's
What
all
do you need?
crumpled up and like half torn, maybe even like a burn. I don't know what the brown stuff is on it, but I hand the kid one of our flyers for the circus.
You got the quill in there or something to write on it.
This would be this first day still, so it's Sunday. I imagine these have dates on them, probably. It's the points we're trying to promote for this show.
Shit.
Oh, we're leaving tomorrow morning. We won't still be here at Toil Day. We Ash's dad was just bringing our harvest down from Castanley, and we were helping.
Yeah, I feel bad.
You don't.
You got the something to write with, Arabis.
I got some charcoal in here. I guess you could use the charcoal.
This is good. Give me this. Give me this. And Zerg's just gonna like sort of scroll his name on the flyer, like really scruff. Like it's not good. and hand the flyer and charcoal to Arabis.
Okay. And we'll
Put your name on this. The kids love this. Believe me, it's good.
try to. The worst handwriting you've probably ever seen.
We're both illiterate and we're trying to write.
Yeah,
shit.
I don't know if you guys would be the worst or the best parents ever. Vandalize your wagon, steal your money, like, oh, okay, cool. Here, have a signed poster.
I mean, at least if you can't come to the show, at least you have autograph from the mightiest orc I've ever met in my life.
Oh, and the most beautiful. Look at this. Come on, this is fantastic. You will know these names. Big famous, and you
Yes.
tell people that you met us, and we're good friends now, okay? Or sell it, whatever.
Yeah, that's probably for millions of golds.
Thanks.
Okay, scruff his hair with a big old fucking meaty palm.
Probably like meat
He's like
chunks still on your hand.
13. He's not like a toddler.
Anybody's a toddler in Zerg, are you kidding me?
He can like scratch this down. He's like not super happy about it, but you are a giant orc, and he's not gonna say anything at this point. He is, well, quite possibly getting off the lightest that would be imaginable.
Okay, you have good time. Arabis, I want a drink.
Do we need to talk to the father? You said you were worried about your father.
Oh shit, forgot about this. Okay, let's go get him.
We should... he was very angry.
Okay, you go talk, I go drink.
The pair, well, so, alright. So as you
Send me by myself.
sit down to have a drink, and Arvis heads upstairs to, I guess, go talk to Ash's dad, who did seem pretty upsetty. He seemed, displeased, disappointed. The weight of the paternal disappointment heavy upon him. But, it doesn't turn out that he's not like, he didn't take his kids up there to beat the shit out of them or anything. I mean, like, it's not like, he's just like, they're definitely gonna get a good smack, but he's not like abusing them or anything, and they are getting a solid stern talking to in the room they've rented for a couple of nights while they were down here, offloading all their harvest to get shipped out and sell it through the Grange and get it dealt with. But with that day, weird success? Question mark? I'm not.
Got the money back, man. That's a success in my book.
We did exactly what we set out to do. We got the money back.
Yep, that's
In the most Arabus and Zerg way possible, too.
that's
You
accurate.
still have working bones. I consider it an absolute failure.
Can't believe no one died. I thought I was gonna be.
I'm
like,
really actually proud of Zerg.
Yeah,
What do you tell the party when you get back?
we're gonna
What do you-
find out.
We tell them that we killed them, whoever it was.
Well, that's. I mean, what should we tell them on the? We're walking back. What should we tell them, Mr. Batsky? I mean, it's
Was nasty sailors. You remember we saw the sailor man back at the place. We blame them. We tell Selwyn. We cannot tell Selwyn that we let the kids get out of here. Or Selwyn would kill me. What do you think? We killed.
What do
killed who
we
it
tell
was.
Mom?
That's the same conversation they had.
so when he says that back to me, like Arbus's face kind of like changes a little bit. Just it's like almost a little darker, I guess. Not as soft. And I just sort of, she reaches over and just sort of like traces your bicep with her finger. And she's like, you will be my executioner one day. Slay my enemies for me.
Yes, as long as you do the talking and the healing, we'll be fine.
Oh, they won't know what happened.
Fist bump. Oh, you put your fist on my fist is cool. Is cool thing to do. It's like little Ara's high five, but cooler.
What? With the fist?
However, they end up slowly sorting that out. I think it's all that's really left to do here is to put on a show. We've actually ended up with, by a significant margin, the largest pool of anticipation that we've had, 73 points. You got 2 excitement carrying over from your prior show in Escadars. It seems word of your exploits certainly has reached these distant shores. Dolphin Greggett was well aware you were coming, and on the day of your performance, as everyone's readying, preparing their last-minute things, making sure your goods and shows are in order, he is absolutely there, front and center, very much excited to get to see what the Circus of Wayward Wonders is going to bring to his humble little town, which is probably the biggest town any of you have ever been to, realistically. Carrick is a good deal bigger than Escadar. But there's only a few things left to handle. Do you want any temporary upgrades?
If I can find them again. In this here,
You have got beer confections. Beer increasing your anticipation a little bit. So it's a 5 gold investment to hope that the anticipation it gives you will pay itself back. And it also increases the... it gives you a +2 circumstance bonus any tricks with the audience trait. Because the audience is very drunk and super into it. However, everyone's very drunk, and that also comes with negative downsides as well.
right.
You can buy confections, which will give you a little early boost of excitement. Disposable binoculars, it didn't matter because you didn't hit the total. Oh no, actually, your anticipation is 50. Because your anticipation is actually currently 50. Just because the hype in Carrick is actually bigger than your tent can hold. So if you buy the disposable binoculars, you'll get the full 73. Your tent can only hold 50 anticipation of people. That's with the big tent that you got.
Well, in that case, we're buying the binoculars.
At 25 gold, and assuming you at least succeed, you're guaranteed at least 23 back immediately just for having that. And that will mean that you can sell tickets. You can actually open up the backside of the tent and expand the bleachers further out and let people stay out and around and still be able to witness the shows that are going on. You probably don't care about merchandise, but it's something to decide afterwards, because merchandising carries to the next show. So 25 gold off of what the circus has left, which if that overdraws you a little bit out of somebody's pockets. The follow-up question, does anybody want to take on any non-performer roles this show?
Well, if we're getting beer, I could be a
We did not get beer.
security. But if we're not getting beer, then we can just do whichever.
Now, who wants to go first?
But someone's not.
Hold on,
No.
there is but more
Oh, there's one more.
behind the scenes. There is still the Die of Fate,
Uh-oh.
as always cast. And as you're ready and setting yourselves around, over the last day before and leading up into this one, seems there's a bit of a sickness that's broken out through some of your showgoers that share some more cramped confinements. Commonly and affectionately referred to as clown lung. It's not unheard of among circus performers, but it's taken a fairly bad turn. And the team usually rely on Tony Two Toes and his posse of performing idiots aren't really filling up to the show. If nobody takes the backup clown non-performer role, you will not be able to send in the clowns at any point during this show. Your clowns are out of commission.
Well, anyone want to be a clown?
Well, you know, I could actually be a very effective clown.
All right, Barkbeard's a clown.
I think that's fairly safe.
But with that, the question does in fact turn to the opening act. Who are we sending out to prime the crowd? Got lofty boots to fill with 73 anticipation.
That's true.
Could Zerg and Gigi double team to open it up?
Sure. Second Gigi, you're up.
And opening the show floor here, Zerg, Asha. I actually realized just now I don't currently have a token for Gigi in here. So I can't give you a Gigi token, but just pretend Gigi's there in spirit.
Well, she's on the token.
Yeah, Gigi's part of the token. Here, we'll just get one of these. We'll just give him a... Bam. There you go. Get one of those. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Under control. Zerg, Asha, and Gigi. You head out and take the stage for the night's opening act. And before everything begins, of course, the ringmaster is going to lead us in. Selwyn, the floor is yours.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the first show of the Circus of Wayward Wonders, Wandering Waywardly. Tonight, we've prepared nothing short of spectacular events, and this first show, in of itself, is just going to prove what we have in store for you. Now, I hope that you'll do me the great pleasure of welcoming in Asha, Gigi, and the strongest man alive, Sir Batsky.
And you have generated a lot of anticipation here. So the crowd, much as you were told by Dolphin Greggett, the people here in Carrick are absolutely excited for any kind of potential diversion here. So, Zerg, what are we doing?
In rides, once again, Asha and Zerg on the back of Gigi riding in, trumpeting loudly. Both Asha and Zerg, like, come on, like getting a bit of excitement going. As Asha flips off one side of Gigi and Zerg on the other, and as like we get multiple parts to this act, right? Like
you get up to 3 performances, yeah. So why don't you roll to see me how into it the crowd gets? Make me
all
a
right,
first.
what are we doing? Performance?
What's it? It's your circus check.
Oh, do I have I have my own circus check? Where's that? What the fuck?
It's been so long, he's forgotten.
It's been a long time.
The last show that you missed was the last circus, right? You remember you have your trick as Zerg, like you have.
The last
You have a
circus Zerg performed in was with Lizard.
Yeah, I've only performed once.
Oh.
Yeah, this is my first performance.
Been a
with it.
while.
Ooh,
It's been a while.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
it's been a hot minute.
I believe your trick check, good sir, is athletics.
Okay,
So-
even better.
It was athletics or unarmed strike. Honestly, not 100% positive which it was, but it could be both at this
It's
point.
unarmed strike. Yeah.
It could be both now. You got 2 traits, 2 trick checks. So the 31, absolutely. You come out to a pretty decent success. The crowd seems excited. The crowd seems into it. And with this first performance here, as you start up your act, you are going to succeed and generate 9 excitement. Continue.
With us both now on the ground on opposite sides of Gigi, still riling everybody up, we sort of stretch our shoulders a little bit and lift Gigi over our heads. 2 legs each.
This great show of physical might. You can either give me an athletics check again, or you can give me an unarmed strike attack roll. Your trick has the agile trait, so this is going to be at a -4, just as if it was your second attack in a round. And if you do athletics,
regardless
you
of
can,
whether I use athletics.
Right.
I'm gonna hero point that.
That's fair. You can also shift click. You got it, but you can. It's higher. You can shift click a roll that you're doing out of your character sheet, and then you can put a temporary modifier in there. So it's be a 21. That's a
21 on the
failure,
lift.
but not a critical failure. So you lift Gigi up, but this isn't something that Gigi is terribly used to here. And it's wobbly because the mammoth training is kicking in, and she keeps trying to like sit back onto Asha, which she has to fight against. It's certainly still impressive. You get Gigi up. A failure does not have any negative effect. It's just, it is a passable trick. Now, you can, for the big boy play, attempt a third one at a -8. Or you can end your opener here. Or you can call in your local neighborhood clown as your last action to come kind of support you, to enhance your performance, to enhance your trick. And they are going to, Barkbeard will be able to boost that previous failure to a success and end your trick.
Gigi wants to sit on Asha. Gigi can sit on Asha. Zerg's going to climb up on top to end the trick and ride out on the top of Gigi, who is on top of Asha, and waddle back behind the curtain.
Big,
At a -8?
Big boy times at a -8. Ooh.
30. 30.
30 succeeds on the -8. The absolute mad lad. Lets Gigi do as Gigi pleases, walking the two of them back behind the curtain, back to the backstage area, to the uproarious excitement of the crowd.
You just gotta believe.
You just
That's belief right there.
Just do it. And with a successful opener, the crowd warmed up and riled. The DC of every trick check for the rest of the show is going to be reduced by 1. The crowd is solidly on your side. Now it's time for a rising action. Right ring, left ring. 2 tricks at the same time. Selwyn, what's happening?
All right, it's 2 acts, and then the big number. I completely forgot. And
Mike, that's how a circus runs.
that's how it runs. Look, it's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks.
It's been like 2 whole weeks. It's not been a while.
Not at all, no. Interesting. Our Arabus.
Yay.
We shall
Alrighty.
do.
You have the same
Ara-
name, so you go on the same time.
I like the way you
Arabus.
think.
Out into the right ring and the left ring. Here together to perform the rising action. Who wants to start us off?
Ladies first.
I got no vision for some reason. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
All blacked out.
It's because you're blind.
There is an Arabus token.
There's an
Yeah.
Arbus token.
I don't have it.
Can you see from that one?
I can see from that one, yeah.
I
Okay.
can see out
Oh
of
God,
yours
she's
with,
so big.
Yeah, I can see out of yours with absolutely no problem. So I have no idea what the issue is, but I can just make you
Who
a token.
knows?
There you go.
Thank you. Okay.
Pretty sure that you were just scrolled out of the area that you can see, but
Maybe.
I probably should have tried the pull ping because I do have the pull ping now. I can do that.
Thing is very
Stop.
nice.
Anyway, Arbus, go ahead.
Okay, so the usual Arabus dance. I mean, it's not. It starts off with the cage and the smoke disappearing, and she dances out through the top of it, tumbling down. Shield would not be out yet. Just Misako. He's not.
Okay.
She's not ready.
Fair.
Slow, animalistic like moves as Misako comes from the other side. They start to dance with each other, mimicking almost like she's more animal, he's more human. It's beautiful if you watch it. Just very engrossing. That's,
Give me your first check as you start this dance up here.
That's
with
the
your
dance.
roll. You just
Where is
gotta
she?
believe.
I do.
Belief.
belief, and I believe with nature I have a +1.
Yep, you are doing an
Because of
animal
the
check,
animal-
so you do have
the
a
animal
+1.
check.
So you can put that +1 circumstance bonus in there.
Shift click.
Also, the DC is 1 lower because of Zerganash's fantastic opener.
This is great. They did such a great job. Scroll down, that's that, and go. For a 26 is.
You know the DC, shouldn't you? And the DC is 26. What's
Oh, I do.
It's 25 because of the opener.
It's great. See, I knew.
You would know that's a successful trick. Your dance starts. The audience is still very excited. On the other ring, Ara.
So, before I start this, I made a new trick, but I forgot to ask you. Could I use the spell attack roll as one of my trick traits?
If you can use unarmed attack roll, I don't see why you couldn't use spell attack roll.
Okay, that's perfect. Ara's new
It makes
setup
sense
is,
to me.
It makes sense to me. Ara's new setup, instead of tight ropes, he's actually brought out by a roustabout and set on a stool in the middle of the ring, surrounded with coals that they set on fire as soon as they set him down. When the great big burst of flame, he stands up with his hands up. I'm going to do my first trick trait. For a nice, fanciful diet. Whatever diet is. 30.
Another resounding success. Up to 38 excitement, passing the halfway threshold for a successful show so far. Back over to you, Arbus.
Okay, so the dancing begins to speed up. We start separating from each other. He grows distant to the one side, I grow to the other. Then we turn and face each other, and we run directly towards each other. I slide on my knees as he jumps over me. That's where I guess I would rule.
Yep, give me your second one. Are you going nature again?
The second one is actually survival. I've written down.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah, because you do get an automatic 2 excitement for switching checks. So that's instantly going to bring you to 40, regardless of the result of this roll.
Cool. Survival is gonna be a hero point.
And you notice that a -4 as well.
Yeah.
Or -5. Your trick's not agile, is it?
No.
-5 then.
Oh, yay! That's
There you go.
32.
That's a
-5.
success.
Yeah. All right.
49 excitements. Pulling it off. Back to you, Ara.
And now, with his new mastery, Ara is going to actually pump his own magic into the fire around him, bring it up and creating shapes out of the fire, starting with almost like a dragon. Have you seen that scene in Avatar: The Last Bender of the circus where the guy was actually firebending a dragon?
Yes.
Ara is doing that.
I mean, that's pretty much what Blue does, just with smoke.
And actually, during part of the thing, he brings the dragon back towards him like it's attacking him. And he has his fake arm, the arm that the bearded man card for him raised up, and the dragon hits it and tears it off. We're going to roll an intimidation.
All right, you got fire, so that's +1 circumstance, and -5 so -4 total.
-4. Add and roll.
Oh, baby.
Oh! Oh!
And I
Wow.
pumped a 3rd level spell into it too.
Oh! Okay, you put the magical trait on there.
Yes, sir.
Buggers.
The crowd is only getting louder and more into it as these two tricks here absolutely up the ante. Natural 20, a critical success reminder, is the big boy victory, because that does not just add excitement, that also raises your anticipation as well, which means that you're going to be able to get more money from this show. So with a 3rd level spell, with a successful trick, that's 12 excitement, bringing you up to 61. Half the trick's level rounded up is 5, bringing your anticipation to 78. So if you keep this up, we're not going to get critical success, but we're all but guaranteed a regular success. So 3rd action, you don't have to take it, but you can if you choose to. Arbus?
Hearing the roar of the crowd and that we're really killing it, and I'm gonna, we did the major part of the dance, and now as I'm just gonna finish it out, and Masako's gonna go out stage left, and I finish like I always do. I turn into a wolf like him and slowly follow after.
As the pair of you make your way off the stage, Ara?
Ara's gonna command the fire even more to send it straight up and have it dissipate in the air, falling back down on embers. Then he's gonna sit back down and wait for a roustabout to come pick him up and carry him off stage.
Nice.
I wasn't asked about that was a door for.
That's
Not a roustabout.
That's an imposter.
I've been had! All right, so
Sus.
a wild success so far. Successful build-up. Both of your tricks are the same level. So with a successful build-up, the crowd is getting more and more excited. Your anticipation is going to increase yet further by another 9, up to 87.
Oh boy.
Anticipation, 61 excitement. Every show we put on is bigger than the last. The Circus of Wayward Wonders only goes up. Stonks.
Only
But
goes
we
up.
have the big number.
Well,
This is the main event here. The main event, your first check is going to receive a +5 from how warmed up the crowd is. And how successful the rising action was.
that's pretty awesome. Well, no beating around a bush. I need a main act where I don't get interrupted by the menagerie. It's me.
Is it finally my time?
It's me, baby.
Do I get to do the trick?
Oh, wait.
The ringmaster herself takes center ring.
And I help on my Pegasus. Well,
He's not yours.
he's not mine, but you know. I hop onto him, get up into the sky, do the act as I planned last time. You know, he does the first dive, and it appears as if I almost fall off, barely hanging on. The look of panic, almost frightening to any onlookers as I make my first roll with intimidation.
And as you go to do this,
Oh no!
You're fucking joking.
Zerg,
Monster!
Arbus, Barkbeard, and Ara backstage notice that Selwyn is fucking awesome. Roll me that intimidate check.
Oh
You got me! You.
my. I'm rerolling.
This too.
This is
I mean,
bullshit.
How? How with the dice?
Yeah, I know.
give me the crit.
I need it.
There, it's better.
Hell
Oh.
yeah. Critical success. That's what we like to
Is
see.
it?
Yeah, because it's.
Oh, because the DC's
lower.
went lower, and because that's
Yeah.
right, the DC's went lower because of the successful opener. 35 immediately a critical success. Gasps from the crowd, followed by yet another redoubled wave of wild cheering. Excitement to 70, anticipation to 92. Continue.
Well, as it leaps down, flies toward the ground, I let go, and once more, the Pegasus swoops underneath me, catches onto me, and the act begins truly, with feats of acrobatics performed on the back of this Pegasus as we're flying around the ring, closing down into the stands, getting close, and this should be agile, so it should be with a -4.
Correct.
Let's add that in.
And it sounds to me like you're switching checks.
I am.
So it's the immediate for excitement, for the variety displayed, the breadth, the sheer depth of this performance.
All right, let us spend.
On
I think I have 2 left. No, wait.
I
No,
have
no,
you
I got
at
filled up,
3
yeah.
because you got refilled. I have you at 3 right now.
yeah. Well, we keep going. We're onwards and upwards. It's always me. It's always the same.
Need to check those numbers
Regular
after this.
failure. So Selwyn is left with
I
a
call
difficult.
upon Barkbeard to turn the failure into a success as the Phoenix, the great duo between me and the Pegasus, fly out the fucking
Barkbeard, she gives you the clown signal.
And Barkbeard runs in, and he sprints around the entirety of the rings, kind of flying with this miraculous speed that he just naturally has.
Very quick.
And just kind of creating a trail of dust, and vines are just swinging everywhere, and roots are going up. Basically exactly like that.
I love
and it's
thunder.
just distracting is what it is. It's just super distracting. It's just like watching
The Roadrunner?
yeah, Roadrunner, I guess.
Zombie boys, let's go! And this is the perfect cover to get you backstage, as Miss Dancer flies back out, depositing you to return backstage. Him flying out, soaring over the audience through the open front of your massive canvas, where your spillover is watching through all of their disposable binoculars you provided with the tickets here. Soaring above around the circus tent, and finally landing back down below. And all that's left now is the finale. 83 excitement, 92 anticipation. 3 acts in 3 rings. And the first real setup we've had since our first performance, with a shot at a critically successful show. You're 9 excitement off right now. And with a great success in the big number, do we go for the big boy clinch?
Well, we gotta get some more excitement. So we gotta get big boys in there.
You need 9 total excitement. If you get more than 9, you succeed. If you get exactly 9, you critically succeed.
I think
You've
we'll
got
get the
like
big
level 5 and 2 acts.
Yeah, no, that's too much. I can't handle that kind of stuff. You're
not gonna go for the crit?
Yeah, I mean,
Go for the crit. Do it.
Come on, do it!
Do it.
Got to go for it.
Come on. We
okay,
haven't
so-
had one since the first show. Come on, man.
Oh no! Oh no! So we need what?
Roll the dice, we'll be fine.
One level 5 act, 2 level 2s, right?
If all 3 of them succeed on their first check, that's exactly a critical success.
All right. In that case, sure. The DC should be 1 lower, right?
DC is 1 lower.
Okay. I think Tulip is a level 2 act.
Yeah, you've got them in your journal. They're all in your journal.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember.
Mordane's at level what, 2?
They're in the
Okay.
journal by their level. The number in front is their level.
Okay.
So Mordane and Tulip are your level 2s, and you have either Blue or Sniggles as your level 5.
Okay, wait. Let me look at Blue. I think Blue is better than Sniggles, right? Wait, I'm
You
looking
got
at the
all their
wrong
posters for reference.
Right, I
Blue
know.
is
It's just I was looking in the wrong place.
Blue is much more likely to succeed on his first check.
Yeah.
Less likely to succeed on his second. But he
That
knows
doesn't
the
matter.
game.
Okay, so-
He knows the game.
Right. Okay. Blue. Do we really not have a third level 2?
You have 2 level 2s, Mordane and
Okay.
Tulip.
Well, I'll take responsibility of Mordane, and we'll send in Tulip. I don't know who wants to control Tulip, but I feel like Fade has to be controlling Mordane because either I'm a great victor or Mordane fucking drowns.
This is a win-win for you no matter what happens, isn't it? If
Right.
you succeed, it's great. If you fail, it's great.
Exactly.
All
I know
right.
that bitch will critically succeed despite me.
Critically succeeding will actually fuck the calculation.
Right.
'Cause your
Exactly. That's what I'm
anticipation will go up.
saying.
All
Yeah.
right, so let's start with Tulip. This is the first time Tulip's gotten to perform since your opening night. I think actually this is the first. I think it's maybe the first time you've called her on.
Yeah, the opening night, she
And,
was really distraught.
Right.
Yeah.
She heads out with Mr. Tickles to go begin her performance. And she is very skilled at what she does. Mr. Tickles is very tame and well trained. But her act really is more look at this giant snake than it is anything particularly impressive or rehearsed like Arabis's act. So who wants to roll for Tulip?
I think Arbus should.
She can roll an intimidation at +8 or a nature at +9 because of the animal trait. It's the same traits that you have, Arvis.
Okay. Here's the question: how do I change mine to be like her?
Just roll a d20 and we'll figure it out.
Just roll d20. Yeah, we know it's
20.
You're gonna say is
The first one is what again?
it's either it's intimidation at +8 or nature at +9.
Now, if you do this right, only the first one matters.
Only the first one matters. If all 3 of these succeed, it's a critical success. On the
And we still have
surface.
the clowns, right?
Still have clowns. If you get
We have
2
one
successes and 1 failure,
safety.
you get 2 successes and a failure, you're chilling. I don't know why that keeps putting men in blackness as a name.
Oh God!
Oh, first success.
First success. You're in there. You are in there. Tulip succeeds, adding 2 excitement to the show's total, bringing it to 85. Her snake is cool and interesting. The crowd's already riled. They've seen the main event. This is just gravy. On the other side, Mordain has her assistants roll out her big tank.
Right? It has to be
What?
Mordain who ends it out.
Oh
You
yeah.
want to do it at the end? Okay.
Yeah, save it for last.
So Blue then. Blue heads out, and on his way past the curtain as he's walking past Ara, head out there, kind of turns a smile on his face. I dare say you're stealing a bit of my thunder there, little stick.
Well, they say the sincerest form of flattery is imitation.
I'm surprised you got that right.
Yeah, I can't believe
I am too.
Well, just you watch and learn then. If you're looking to follow in the steps of greatness, you're on the right trail. And rubbing his hands together, he winks
Fuck, Blue's cool, isn't
and
he?
heads out into the center ring.
Next
Simply doing
episode,
nothing at first, standing, showing, pulling out the cigarette he's got on the long, extended handle. Takes a real long draft and starts to blow as the smoke coalesces, rolling in front of him, forming into almost a barrier around him, spreading as a plane, not an expanding cloud, before it all starts to rise up together and take the shape of something. This is going to be a thievery at +12. Who wants to roll for Blue? I feel like Ara should do it, seeing as he took his usual performance of
fanboy.
Make a Dragon.
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
My foundry's slowing down, by the way.
Oh, no.
It's okay, we're almost free.
+12.
I think I'm going to invest in a hosted server for this. Because I like it.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say 20
You
plus
rolled
12.
20 plus 12.
Yeah.
You
was
did
32.
math. You did math. It's not. Yeah,
the hell
you
of a
can add.
calculator right there.
I was about to fucking scream.
Critically succeeds, but fucking ruins everything.
Blue's so cool. All right, and in. Did that roll? Yes, it did. There it goes.
30
Boy.
Wait, no, that's too high.
critically succeeds.
All right, got a question.
Blue's pride is on the damn line here. I got an answer.
Pointed. Hero point of-
Can I hero point reroll it?
I mean,
I don't see why not.
Oh, look what you did.
That's a regular failure.
Now it's a regular failure. So he's doing it.
All right, turn that shit into a
It
success.
billows up fountains, like an erupting volcano before the smoke spreading around becomes a flat plane that starts to take shapes, almost like a spinning yin-yang. 2 curved clubs revolving around each other as he just kind of twirls his fingers. You can clown that to a success.
We clown it. We're
Do we still
clowning
have
it.
the clown?
Yeah, we
You get
have
one clown every act.
for each one. Yeah. One
Oh,
clown
every act. I thought it was every second.
we use clown, okay? We cast
So
clown.
as it had
Cast
to,
clown.
as it had to be,
We sabotage.
everything
Blue.
is riding on Mordain.
This is
the
what she
magician.
wanted. This is
I'm
what she
so
wanted since
sorry.
day one. It is on her.
Yeah, it's on her. right.
Absolutely everything
Okay.
is
here
on
it
her
is.
shoulders. Mordain, the magician, with her
The
show,
fortitude.
her display, her manacles locked lower into the tank as she begins her performance, demonstrating her plight. Selwyn has never
Oh.
been so torn in her damn life as she is right now.
Okay.
Your headliner, Mordain the Magician.
Oh, you fucking slut.
Critically
Oh my
succeeds!
god!
No,
Damn it.
nope, we're rerolling. We're hero pointing.
Hero point!
I can't handle it.
Only in the circus do you re-roll crits.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Oh,
Come
my
on!
God.
Come on, big money. Yeah!
Regular success!
Oh, exactly so!
Oh, it's one over.
One over because the DC is lower, but
Oh, God!
We got there. We sabotaged both for our acts to get there, but we got there.
and his Barkbeard rushes out to close it out alongside Blue. The cheering of the crowd, explosive, 92 excitement, 92 anticipation. It's the perfect act. It's the perfect show. And what looked so bleak, so grim at first as you started advertising has become far and away the greatest night of your careers, everybody. Barkbeard, as you head out, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to be circling Blue. I'm going to be running around his smoke, kind of turning it into a dust devil. And as I run, it'll follow me around and create this like cyclone kind of thing of just this smoke that's kind of just twisting around the middle of the tent.
Perfect for you. And he can work with that because he can still kind of manipulate it. And as you draw the attention there, as Tulip and Mordain go through their acts, I told you the low-level act still absolutely had a purpose.
Yeah, it's gonna get sabotaged.
To get hero pointed into failure. And regular. I can't believe you imagine hero pointing out of 2 critical successes to make them less good.
Oh.
With, oh man, 9 prestige, 92 anticipation, a critically successful show. Your opening night in Carrick is going to make 202 GP.
Oh,
That's as much as all our other shows combined.
babe.
I'm pretty sure
Lord.
that is more than all of your
Yep.
other shows combined.
It is.
It was worth it.
Big
Big
God
money. No
damn
whammies.
I want
money.
to. I want to give a thanks to our sponsor, TNT DMD.
Dude, just like it's on your flyers. It's on the bottom of your flyers. Sponsored by TNT DMD. You've got like up in front of the curtains that are separating the main performance area from the backstage. You've got two big billboards with TNT DMD written out on them, surrounded by, with a massive explosion of coins and various geometric, shiny, crystalline objects, purple diamonds and blue pentagrams flying forth from the explosion. That is canon. That's canon. It's in there now.
It's been said.
And you know what? I am perfectly happy with tonight's festivities ending on a wildly fucking successful critical show. The first you've had since your opening night. A massive addition to the circus's money. 200 gold from the good people at Carrick. How's that for an apology for some shitty teenagers vandalizing your wagons?
Enough. Those teenagers must die.
And we got that money back.
And you did also get they stole 10 gold.
You're welcome.
And he gave you 10 gold, 3 silver. So technically you profited there too.
Oh, wow. Okay, never
Because
mind.
he just
Forget
pulled all
it.
the money out of his pocket. That was
You
his
paid
money.
for
He
our
was
time.
very scared. So, the wildly successful opening night in Carrick. You know, all things perhaps happening for a reason. That's going to end our show here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you to our sponsor, TNT DMD,
Thanks. Really makes it happen.
for the consistent, incredible support you've given us for numerous consecutive shows now. I just can't imagine we've ended up in a universe where we're hero pointing critical successes to do something shittier.
It was
Extinction
for the
Curse.
greater good.
It truly is a magical journey, isn't it? It truly is a magical goddamn journey.
Of
We'll
course,
see
we all
you
had to
guys.
roll
Oh.
excellent at the end.
Everyone's trying to steal the damn show. Arcadis at the end, $25 tip. A critical success requires, let's be honest here, it doesn't. But Zindern is going to need these.
Oh,
3
wow.
hero points
At the
for
end, coming
Selwyn.
through.
The end
I
of the
spam
show.
him.
1 for Zerg, putting you back up to 4 as well. And 1 for Aura, taking everyone who's below 4 up to 4. Thank you, Arcadis. We'll continue our adventures next week. Now settled in with a spectacular opening night, ready to travel to Swordlands, put on more shows, rake in more money, and I guess there was a second thing we came here for.
Nah.
I feel like, something very different. Something very...
Aeon Tower, more like the Leon Tower.
Yeah, I asked about him when we
I
were looking at
can't-
the map.
I can't even be fucking mad, man. I can't even be mad. You win this round. What you have at your crit show? You win this
Fuck.
round. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. What a goddamn end it is.